My pheromones, they'll make you moan, keep you up all night, make you snore in the morning. Take a bottle of wine to explore your spine, undress your breasts and start adoring. And you can tell yourself you don't have any money to support it. You can tell yourself you don't have any money to support it. I'll make a moment till your heart breaks just like mine. I'll make a moment till your heart breaks just like mine. I'll make a moment till your heart breaks just like mine. And it's only 'cause you broke mine. I'll make a moment till your heart breaks just like mine. And it's only 'cause you broke mine. I can't abstain and can't complain, though you talk all night, keep me up till the morning. Take a hit of the pipe to explode your mind, undress your breast, keep me from boring. You can kill yourself, don't have any pity to support it. You can kill yourself, don't have any pity to support it. I'll make a moment till your heart breaks just like mine. I'll make a moment till your heart breaks just like mine. I'll make a moment till your heart breaks just like mine. And it's only 'cause you broke mine. I'll make a moment till your heart breaks just like mine. And it's only 'cause you broke mine.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Endure the King. By the way, guys, I should tell you, I should make a little announcement. We hit 2 Patreon goals. I am really, really fucking happy. I just recorded one of the parts of the Artcast. Since that got hit, I started getting a little bit more busy with that. So I got that going. I'm gonna start doing some more stuff with that. So that's gonna be exciting. So I'm just really, really happy I get to do some stuff like that. But anyways, we're not here to brag. Okay, sound good? We're gonna watch and Ask the King because why not?
His first question.
All right. So, as I like to do when I do Ask the King, I love answering the questions that are directed to Philip, but for me, that's it. You get the picture. So the question is, why are religion and politics such incendiary topics? Would they ever not be? Well, I know who asked this, by the way. It's Infinite Cuck, everyone's favorite. He asked this, but in a much more silly way. But religion and politics are always going to be incendiary because they're politics and people have their own beliefs. The only thing you can kind of get out of it is if both people are understanding that, oh yeah, let's say, like, I'm a fucking liberal Democrat Persona 5 fan. But you know what, if someone's a conservative, whatever, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, well, fuck you, dude. I understand where he's coming from. I mean, you kind of have to see where other people are coming from, but at the same time, you kind of have to stand for your own beliefs. You can't just be like, oh, well, we all have different beliefs, Sally. Oh, geez, you know. But to me, about religion and politics and that kind of stuff, it's all about relaxing and just being like, hey, guys, it's just a conversation. You know, I don't really see the point in be like, hey man, fuck you, you know? I might not be a Trump supporter, but I'm not gonna say fuck you to the people who voted for him. But it is what it is. People just get a lot more passionate online. And the other thing is that I think it's that people don't pick up the tone of text. Like, if I type in on Twitter, Persona 5 is a really good game. Some people might say, oh yeah, he's just saying it's a really good game. Some people might say, oh, he's love of the game to the point where he's praising the fuck out of it. It's like, kind of always I feel about She-Ra. I've said some stuff about She-Ra that's like, oh, you know, it exists. And then someone's like, hey, you know what, that show, you know, and they get, like, on my ass about it. But it is what it is. Everyone has their own opinions. Everyone has opinions, dude. You know? Come on. Alright.
Question is as follows. I realize we have rules on certain Twitch chats that prevent us from discussing divisive, incendiary topics, like religion and politics and philosophy.
But this meme of, oh, it's a chat rule. I don't think a lot of chat rules specifically say no talk of politics or anything. Usually what the rules are in people's chat is to respect each other and to relax and not be an asshole, which are pretty good rules, because, you know, people can have a respectful discussion about religion and politics and whatever, but, you know, if you tell people, hey, just respect each other and relax, this is, you know, whatever, that's more than enough, you know. And then if someone does talk about religion or politics and it gets to the point where people are just insulting people, well, they're not biting the rules of don't be an asshole. So, there you go. You don't really need to have this extra rule about fucking politics and religion and nonsense, because those aren't inherently bad topics. It's usually how people talk about it that's the problem, not the topic themselves. Because with that logic, anything could be divisive. I mean, you might as well just have a rule saying, no one can talk about consoles. Don't talk about consoles. When we talk about consoles and PCs, people get into arguments. I don't want that. So no one talk about consoles and PCs. If I see that in my chat, you're banned. And it's like, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. But okay.
I've been on streams where cordial confabulations have evolved or developed into
Infinite. You don't need to like please him with these fancy words. You're talking to a fucking pig, okay? Pigs don't care. They only care about your quarters, okay? Infinite, you don't need to use fancy words about fucking garbage, okay? Come down.
pure pandemonium. Do you think we were at a point as a society where talking about radioactive topics such as religion and politics would be as innocuous as talking about the weather on any given day? Moreover, what do you think is inhibiting our society from being able to reach this particular feat?
It's not society's fault that people disagree and shit. It's just people argue. It's human nature. Everyone argues. I mean, a few months ago, I got into an argument with someone about Mega 64 and why I like their content. Did I ban him? No. Did I say, fuck you, get out of my chat? No. Did he come to me and say, Theo, how dare you like them? You're a fucking idiot. Fuck you. No. I looked at that and was like, well, you know, I see where you're coming from, why you don't like their content. I like their content, they do other kind of stuff. It is what it is. It's not the topic that's the problem. It's how people talk. There are people who are assholes, there are people who are not assholes. There are people who want to get in arguments, there are people who don't want to get into arguments. That's why you have rules like don't be an asshole.
For me, the reason I don't go there, the reason that I don't go to those topics is very simple. People get hurt. People get angry.
Yeah, the Connect Pizza Hut video. That one was really good.
Game content or my vlogging content. I'm like, wow, I really like Phillies and entertaining guy. And then you find out I don't agree with you on a political issue, and it's like, that's it. I'll never watch Phil ever again. Watch my video game content or my vlogging content. I'm like, wow, I really like Phillies and entertaining guy. And then you find out I don't agree with you on a political issue, and it's like, that's it. I'll never watch Phil ever again. Huh?
Huh? As opposed to people who don't watch your content because you're a piece of shit? Oh. But I always like this meme of... Well, no, I'm thinking of something else, actually. But yeah, I do know people who don't like certain actors because of their political beliefs. But, so what? I mean, my mom doesn't really like Denzel Washington because he voted for Trump. But, I mean, okay. How does that affect me? How does that affect him? How does that affect her? It doesn't affect anyone. Is Denzel Washington gonna cry because my mom's not seeing his movies? I don't think so. I mean, you could say that oh, that reason is dumb. I mean, there are dumb things that people do, but, you know, people do dumb shit. Who fucking cares? Yeah, this is the newest Ask the Pig. It's hot off the pig.
Like what? Why?
Because sometimes people might be disappointed in that person, but the thing is that I'm gonna use JonTron as the example, that hot reference. But he was on that debate with Destiny. And you can argue however you feel about JonTron. You can say, oh, he's this or he's that, whatever. But some people just do not like his opinion on what he said in that podcast at all. Because it's like, oh, this is, you know, whatever. And they can see that however they want. And that might translate them into not supporting him anymore. Which is their volition. It's their, well, maybe not volition. That might not be the right word. But it's their choice. If people don't want to watch you because of your own beliefs or ideologies, that's fine. That's their freedom. It doesn't affect anyone. I mean, the only time that kind of affects people is if you're selling someone something. Like, if I refuse to sell you something because of what you are, I don't think that's right. But if you decide, I'm not going to that store because of that, that's fine. Because that's what it is. I don't know. It's... Of course, someone might disagree with me on that, but that's fine. That's fine, guys. That's fine.
Like, we don't all have to agree on every issue. One person can believe in one religion. One person can believe in a different religion. One person might not believe in religion at all. One person believes on this side of the fence.
But what if that there's a religion that creates harmful violence and people are like, oh, well, I don't want to support that religion. I don't know. It's just a dumb question, and this is coming from a guy that tells his stream chat and his patrons who donate on Patreon, don't bring up politics or religion in your question, and Infinite brings up that, and he answers it. Because you can kind of dissuade people from just not taking a position like this, being like, oh, well, I don't take sides, man. I have my own political beliefs. I'm never going to answer this question, whatever. People could say, well, I don't like DSP for not doing this. He's not taking a side, so I don't like DSP for being neutral. Because that can be a criticism of people. Like, I don't really like DSP when he talks about fucking politics at all, because his politics are pretty bad. Like, when you talk about gun control, like, he brings it up and says, oh, well, I'm not for gun control, but something has to be done. Well, what has to be done? Like, he pretty much says we should do something but nothing. I don't know. I mean, and he doesn't give an answer, so he doesn't really take a side. He doesn't have a stance. No one knows what his stance is on anything, because he doesn't want to share it, so he's pretty much neutral and wishy-washy. And that's pretty bad, because a lot of people can criticize people for that.
When it comes to politics, this person's the other side. Does that mean that they're awful people, and that, you know, you cannot have any kind of involvement or affinity to that person just because they do something you don't like? I'll be honest with you. I like pro wrestling.
Well, it depends on the fucking action, in my opinion. Like, if a store says, oh, we support Trump, or we support Hillary, or we support Bill, whatever, fine. But if they're like, well, we support, we support religion taught in schools or something, I'd be like, well, I don't support that. I don't think religion should be involved in school. I think school should be school. I don't know. That might not be a good example, but shit like that, you know, if it's something that is like, I don't necessarily agree with, then that's fine, but you don't, it is what it is.
I know for a fact that there are certain people in pro wrestling that lean towards things that I don't like in their personal lives. I don't care. I'm a fan of pro wrestling. All I care about is what happens in that ring or on that show. I don't care about what happens outside of there. But there are people who can't separate that. You know what I mean? Like, for some reason, the world's black and white to them.
Well, the way that it is that when they watch WWE, that gives them ratings, that gives them money. And in a way that supports that person, and they may not want to support him, so that's why they might not watch their content. Kind of like how some people don't support DSP, so they go to detractor channels, because they don't want to give DSP the click. But it is what it is.
If it's either you were 100% in agreement or you are my enemy, and it's like, huh? And what I found as I've gotten older and older, okay, because I'm very old, as you guys know, about 80, 90 years old at this point.
Guys, get that?
Huh? And what I found as I've gotten older and older, okay, because I'm very old, as you guys know, about 80, 90 years old at this point.
Guys, get it? Because he's not really 80. Oh, classic comedy.
Is that the world is not a black and white place. The world is many, many, many shades of gray.
It's not black and white, but let me tell you, these fucking detractors, they all fucking suck ass. Fuck them. Fuck the haters. They're all terrible people. They're all criminals. But the world is not black and white, guys. Okay.
Because that's why we have such disagreements. If the world was black and white, you'd have, here's the right way to do things, here's the wrong way.
And then when you watch DSP, he literally tells us the right way and the wrong way of things. Isn't that funny? He tells us that the world is many shades of gray, and oh, it's all black and white, there's no right or wrong way, but then says, well, there is a right way and there's a wrong way of things. Okay.
And it would be very easy to figure everything out. It's not. The problem is that no one can agree on these issues. You know what I mean?
Like, he literally tells us that Nintendo is wrong for doing what they did, but there might be shades of gray for why Nintendo claims videos. But no, let's not. No, fuck that. That's black and white, dude.
And when you take a look at certain things that happen in our world, yeah, maybe a certain political topic is incredibly important, and we need to figure out what are we going to do in our government or whatever to take care of a certain issue. And yeah, people might be very divisive about it and may even get kind of heated when they talk about it and dealing with it. That doesn't mean we have to hate each other. You know what I mean? Honestly,
if the world loved each other very much, the world will be a better place, Mark.
it's a maturity level thing. Like,
maturity level thing. He sounds like a fucking teacher. Little Sally, you know, you're not very mature. You gotta mature, you know, when you get older, you gotta understand the world is very complex.
I started on YouTube, I was a very much more immature person than I am now.
No, you're pretty
It was
pretty
my
much
way or the
still
highway,
immature.
whether you agree with me or you don't. You know, that was over 10 years ago. But
So if you go to his chat and say, well, I agree with Tevin on some things he said about you, well, guess what? Wrong.
kind of how I was. That was my mind mentality. And being
Oh, you think he should use the green screen? Wrong. He can't do it, dude.
exposed to
Oh, use automated leaderboards, use text to speech? Wrong.
thousands upon thousands, if not millions of people on the internet over the past 10 years. I know now that that's not how the world is, that there are many different ways to see things. You can walk in someone else's shoes and try to see a different perspective without, even if you don't even agree with that perspective, you can at least kind of understand where someone's coming from and not hate them just because it's not your perspective. And sadly, that's
And yet you hate all detractors. And you don't even see where they're coming from. He assumes all the time detractors are wrong regardless, but doesn't see, well, maybe they have a point on this. Maybe they have a point of being angry. Like when Project 7 was going around, that whole thing, he didn't even see where we were coming from with that. He kept telling us, no, and if you bring up to this day, he will still say, I ripped anyone off, dude. No one deserves to be upset about that. Okay? Sound good? Okay.
kind of what it is. It's people being immature and people being
He
greedy.
doesn't see how people can see it as them being ripped off for not getting Project 7. He doesn't see that. He disagrees with that, but okay.
Well, I only believe my stance is correct, so therefore, if you don't believe in my stance, that's it. I hate you. It's like, what? Like, that? How just greedy is that you think that only you could be right? Right? Only you could be right.
How
And that-
greedy? Wait, what
even-
greedy?
That's it. I hate you. It's like, what? Like, that? How just greedy is that you think that only you could be right?
Greedy? Okay.
Right? Only you could be right, or that maybe you. Even maybe you're not saying your mindset's wrong, but maybe you could change or adjust your mindset a little bit, at least to be a little bit more open to other people's opinions. And you know,
I mean, I think you meant to say closed-minded, TBH.
one of the things that's the worst is religion in that regard. Like, what I believe religiously is correct. And you know, let's face it. You know, one of the things that's the worst is religion in that regard.
But I thought it's not black and white. Why are you saying religion is the worst? That's a pretty black and white statement, DSP.
Like, what I believe religiously is correct. Everyone else is wrong. I just never understood that. You know, I was raised Roman Catholic. My whole life I went to a Catholic school.
I don't understand how, because it's fucking religion. And people sometimes take that shit too seriously. It's kind of like taking gaming too seriously.
In elementary school and then in high school, I received sacraments and everything in the Roman Catholic Church.
Sacraments.
By the time that I hit college level or university level, my mind had broadened its horizons, to which I started researching other religions and things and realizing.
Really? You went to so imagine young Philip going to college and be like, yeah, I'm in college. No, but I wanna research all the religions. Really? He was that guy? I don't think so. He probably just, I don't know why he has to like put it in such a on this fucking pedestal of living the meme of, I went to college and I woke it up. I woke up, dude. I realized the world was black and white. Dude, like, I mean, you could say that some of your views got challenged in college, I guess. I mean, you could kind of say that, but I mean, you kind of get that just by talking to people as well. Like, the more people you talk to, the more open you get. You know, that's where the phrase live and learn comes from.
Gee, maybe the Roman Catholic religion is kind of narrow-minded, and I should open up my perspective on this kind of thing to understand other cultures and other things going on in the world. And I'm not saying that one is right or wrong at all. I'm just saying, like, I kind of opened my...
No, I agree. Know what the right religion and right culture is? The Cleo culture. I think Cleo has something going on. I think her culture is the best culture. You know, she gets to sit around, flop around, jump up and down, just be a bun all day. I mean, I would much rather be a bun. So I think she has it going on.
My understanding, and boy, did my life view change. Yet I still know people to this day who they were raised in one kind of religion or one kind of political line of thought, and they will never let themselves break free of that mold because that's how they were molded as a child up to they stay there the rest of their lives. You know, for me,
that's how they were molded. They were conditioned. They were trained to be like that, dude.
That's not how I am.
Okay.
I always want to be evolving, learning, changing for the better.
Live and learn. Ain't on the edge of tomorrow. Live and learn.
Okay,
from the words of yesterday. Oh man.
So
I probably butchered that song.
Topics on a gaming stream. It's very simple because number one, I'm trying to put out a stream that's a chill stream. Okay. By the way, you might hear that outside. Someone's landscaping today. It's Thanksgiving. Who the hell is landscaping on Thanksgiving? I have no idea.
Yeah, fuck you.
Of all days of the year, I thought where I would not hear a fucking lawnmower or whatever that is. I thought it would be today, yet I'm hearing it. Anyway, I don't think that's landscaping in my community. By the way, I think it's someone like down the block. But anyway,
why does that matter? Okay.
My streams. The purpose of my streams, all right, is to basically entertain you with gameplay.
But you're not an entertainer. Come on.
Honest reactions to said gameplay, to have a chill environment where when you come to my streams, we can actually relax and not have to be bombarded with all of those dramatic topics from real life.
It's really funny that he says this right before he talks about his fucking state of the stream address. You're not bombarded with real shit, dude. Oh my god, man. I might lose the house.
When you come to see me play Red Dead Redemption 2, you don't want it to break out into a talk about what's the religion, the pitfalls of religion, and what's good or bad about religion. You're like, what the fuck is it?
Yeah, instead you watch a game that might approach that angle. So instead of DSP talking about religion, maybe the game will. Okay.
I just want to see someone play a game. You know, I don't want to get into this drama and shit. You know, you deal with that stuff in your real life outside of my stream. You don't want that to bombard what's going on my
Yeah, everyone fucking deals with religion. The reason why his chat talks about it the most is because his content's so fucking boring. And he has fucking toxic fucking people. And then you have people like just baited out of him. Like, he has fucking Swaggins. Swaggins always goes on a rant about fucking political nonsense, but okay.
Stream, right? That's why I stay away from it. Will there ever be a day where the human race, as a race of people, realize
humans as a race?
They should not.
Human is a race? I think you mean species. We're a species, DSP. Humans are species. Humans are not a race. They're a species. You might want to go back to college, TBH.
Not be so divisive, and they should be more open-minded and don't hate people for not being like you. I mean, I don't know. I mean, certainly I'm not one to give that answer, and I have no idea what's going to happen in the future with humans. I myself have been able to become a much more open-minded person.
I myself has evolved. I am the ulterior being of humans. I'm the best human. Okay? So give me your money. I mean, thank you.
In the last 10 years. So maybe there's hope for everybody. If I was a really
oh yeah, there's
an asshole, and I became open-minded, and I can, you know, talk about these topics and have conversations without getting all angry at other people, maybe other people can too. So
how many times have people sent him cheers and he'd be like, shout out to Poop Eye the Poop, and he says, thank you. Alright. I mean, he literally does not. He fucking acts like a child, ranting and raving at fucking Cheers all day. But okay.
So at least there's maybe a snippet of hope there, okay?
Haha.
Okay. Question number 2 from Infinite. He says, all my life...
And this is coming from a guy who also refuses to talk to anyone. If any detractor came to his chat and said, hey, I want to talk to you about stuff, he's gonna shoot you down. Fuck that. So his other question, why do people divide themselves into racial cliques, groups, when it scientifically makes no sense? Wow, Infinite. Man, big brain on this one. Check out the big brain on Infinite! Now I'm gonna have a taste of this tasty beverage. Mmm. So, why do people divide themselves? Well. It has to do with human nature. People always spot the difference immediately. And I don't necessarily think that people go into racial cliques. It's just that when someone talks about someone else's race and act as if their issues are theirs, that kind of pisses people off. Like, if I went around and start preaching about how hard it is to be black, I mean, I'm fucking white. What do I know? I don't fucking know. What am I gonna say that's gonna just wake people up? I mean, that kind of stuff is a little different. I mean, it's a little bit more of an argument, but it is what it is. But I mean, I don't think socially we divide ourselves like that. I think it just depends on the conversation. That's kind of why I try to stick to the shit I know. And you know, it's like men trying to dictate women's health. It's like, well, men don't go through the same thing. You know, what does a man know about fucking periods and menopause and shit like that?
Especially throughout my university career, I've noticed that people like to form or divide themselves into racial cliques or groups based solely on the color of their skin, or to put it differently, solely based on the amount of melanin in their skin. After doing a little research and curiosity...
Melanin! Ugh, man, melanin, dude. Oh my god, melanin. Ah. Melanin, yeah! Okay, Infinite. You don't need to suck your dick that much.
Out my own basic experiments using mitochondrial DNA, I discovered that some Caucasians in my friends group were actually more genetically similar to African American group members than other Caucasians. That being said, why do you think we consciously divide ourselves?
Wait, what?
I discovered that some Caucasians in my friends group were actually more genetically similar to African American group members than other Caucasians.
And Elizabeth Warren is completely 100% Indian. Obviously.
That being said, why do you think we consciously divide ourselves in such a way? Or why are some people more inclined to associate themselves with people from their own race, especially in cases where cultural difference isn't a factor, and when scientific research fails to support this idea that skin color has any intrinsic value with respect to genetic determinism? That is a heavy question. Basically what he's saying is, why do people gravitate towards race and sticking around with people of their own race? That's the general explanation. When what he's basically saying is there's no scientific evidence that should happen. Like, just because someone is a different skin tone than you doesn't mean that they're not like you.
Just because they gravitate to cliques and shit doesn't mean that they don't talk to other people of different race. I mean, that's the other thing. Like, you know, okay, it's like if I hang out with a group of Greeks, that doesn't necessarily mean I don't hang out with other people. And if you're kind of basing this off of just a instance in college, I mean, you really think that you're going to spend their entire life in one little group and never expand or reach out to other people? They can't have other friends? Okay.
You, right? Or in many different ways. for me, and this is me, my own personal experience, and your personal experience may be completely different. I grew up in a multicultural community my entire life. When I was growing up in Connecticut, my next door neighbor was white. My other next door neighbor was Puerto Rican. And
Oh wow, what a coincidence, right? Yeah, he had the spectrum, dude.
I didn't see any difference between that. Like, I didn't understand that, oh, white.
Well, no one is born with racism. Literally, no one is born thinking, "Oh yeah, I'm the best race." No one is born that way. People kind of they have to learn the behavior to act a certain way. I mean, why do you think people assume that DSP's parents were bad parents to him? Because he's such a shitty person that people assume that he learned these shitty behavior from them.
White and Puerto Rican, they were just my friends. You know what I mean? Then another kid in the neighborhood was African American, and he became our friends, and we had this group of friends who would come and play with.
We were the true progressives, guys. We hang up. I had a multicultural. This is, this is like that meme of a guy saying, "I could say this because my friend is insert thing here, insert person here. I can say this because I have a friend that's this. I can say this because I know a guy that's like this." And ironically, that kind of makes it sound a little bit more racist because you're kind of making excuses to say racial things because of that. But that's not really the context of this, so I can't really say that that's what it sounds like. But no one literally goes down and says, "Well, these are my friends. I have an Italian friend. I have a Greek friend. I have an Asian friend. I have this friend. I have that friend." I mean that alone kind of divides them. But okay.
Boys and everything together and hang out and run around the neighborhood and do fun stuff. And I never had that kind of association where just because someone's a different color that they're different than you. You know what I mean?
Well, they are kind of different. Scientifically speaking, I mean, they can do the same things like action-wise and shit, but I mean, it is what it is.
My elementary school was multicultural. I went to school with people of all different races and creeds. I would say in Connecticut, it was a mix of Caucasian, African American, Latino, and Asian. Okay, those were like the primary cultures that were in that area of Connecticut where I lived when I was a kid. And again, like I understood there was something different between us. Like maybe our families had different traditions and the like, but never did I honestly ever think.
Oh, the traditions made them different, not whatever. Okay.
Was something different or wrong about not being the same skin color? Like for.
And by the way, he fucking asked this. He answered this question many times in the past. Like, stop asking these dumb questions.
Ever was a consideration. Quite frankly, it wasn't until much later on in my life, until like the late teen years, when a lot of my friends started falling into line with that. So I'll be honest, like there would be people who I was friendly with earlier in my life, and now because I was white, all of a sudden they're not supposed to be friends with me anymore.
Of course, that's what it is. They stopped being friends with him because he was white. I like how he plays like the most like typical like the race card, but white people kind of don't really have that much going against them. That's kind of why people say there's white privilege. But oh, okay, yeah, that's it. They couldn't be friends with him because he was white. That makes much more sense.
And I was like, huh?
Huh?
I didn't understand that, but they fell in line with kind of these racial cliques or whatever. I want to hang out with my own kind or whatever. In my honest opinion,
yeah, they're the racists, not me.
People gravitate towards a few things. Number one, people with similar interests, right? If I'm a gamer, I'm going to gravitate towards hanging out with other gamers. I want to talk about games.
I thought you don't divide yourselves, DSP. Come on. I like how he kinda fucking chat on people who gravitate to certain cliques and then proceeds to say that he gravitated to a certain clique. Okay.
I play games. That's the stuff I want to do. So I'm gonna be friends with anyone who likes playing video games, and that's kind of how it was when I was growing up. And I don't understand why people think that like race has anything to do with that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, your hobbies matter, okay? If you don't have the same hobbies I do, get the fuck out, okay?
it doesn't. Like for me, personal interests, personal hobby interests, and that stuff was one of the main reasons why I had the friends that I had when I was growing up younger. Then I would also say there's a lot of socioeconomic factors. For example, if your family is of a higher income level than another family and you can afford it, you're going to probably live in a different area than a different family, right? The thing is for me,
Wait, what?
if your family is of a higher income level than another family and you can afford it, you're going to probably live in a different area than a different family, right? The thing is for me, that was never a fact. I could care less how much money my friends had or whatever. But for some reason, there's people who like, we're inclusive and we only want to hang out with people who are like us and only have the same kind of money and same kind of stuff that we have. I've never been like that at all, but there are some people who are definitely like that, and I don't know why.
I don't know why. Okay, so if you're a billionaire or a millionaire or just a rich guy, you don't think people are gonna be fake friends with you so that they can kind of share the wealth? I mean, that shit does happen, and you know,
Maybe you feel safer if you're with
it's kind of like how sometimes some girls might date a guy because they make so much money they want to share the wealth.
who are all the same income level. I just think it's paranoia. In all reality, it's a lot of paranoia from people. I think a lot of people are overprotective of the things that they have and the things that they've earned in their life, and they're afraid that, oh my god.
So then what? Then why do you have the axe? Why do you have an axe in your house, Phil? Huh? Weird. Weird. It's almost like you're afraid someone's gonna come in and do something. Oh, why can't you show us? Why can't you do a house tour? Oh, you're afraid to show us what you have down there. Oh, okay. Okay.
God forbid that I'm friendly with people who aren't of my same socioeconomic structure, that they might try to take what I got and stuff like that. Like, for me, that's like so, it blows my mind that people even think that way. Because in my life, the things that I've done and the friends that I made, I mean, when I was growing up in arcades, video arcades playing Street
There,
Fighter,
is that better?
pretty much almost everyone in the arcade was not white. I'm not even kidding. Like, I was one of the few white guys in that arcade. It was mostly Latinos and African Americans who kind of were into that thing where I was growing up. So for me,
Wait, what?
I was one of the few. The things that I've done that they might try to take what I got and stuff.
Well, sometimes people who are struggling might be more inclined to steal. I mean, you should go to a bar and take out like a wad of thousands, like $1,000. Go into a bar and see what happens, and just be like, oh, okay, oh, I owe $5. All right, get your big wallet out, just see what happens. I'm pretty sure you might be a target.
Stuff like that. Like, for me, that's like so, it blows my mind that people even think that way.
It blows my mind that people think that people who have it worse off might want to steal from people who have it better. Crazy, right?
Because in my life, the things that I've done and the friends that I made, I mean, when I was growing up in arcades, video arcades playing Street Fighter, pretty much almost everyone in the arcade was not white. I'm not even kidding. Like, I was one of the few white guys in that arcade. It was mostly Latinos and African Americans who kind of were into that thing where I was growing up. So for me, I was almost like the odd guy out.
Of course he's the odd guy out, because white people never liked video games. Okay.
Came to that. But I never had a problem hanging out with those people. You know what I mean? Like hanging out with other gamers. I saw them as gamers.
Imagine having to go into this much detail to just say, I hang out with anyone. I hang out with everyone. I'm cool with everyone. I mean, I've said this before. This kind of stuff, the way that DSP talks about it, it sounds more like a racist trying to convince people that they're not racist. Now, I'm not gonna necessarily say DSP is like maliciously racist, but I mean, he does have racist tendencies. But doing this doesn't really make me think that you're not a racist. It just makes me be a little bit more concerned or worried or have the thought in my mind, oh, he might be. But, okay.
I didn't see it as, oh, this is a different race or something like that at all. And then later on growing
That's
up,
where I felt,
when I
well,
got heavily into Street Fighter, competitive Street Fighter, and I wanted to start traveling the country to play competitive Street Fighter,
I'm that racist. I hang out with no one, okay?
I was completely open to, anyone, hanging out with anyone, playing against anyone. You know what I mean? Like, and I think, honestly, that's one of the best.
Is that why, like, you know what's really weird? I mean, I kind of thought this a few, like, maybe last year, whenever I started to do restreams, I had the thought in the back of my mind, like, oh, he goes more hard towards Tevin than anyone else. But then I was like, well, I realized because Tevin is more of a known detractor. Like, a lot of people know him more than me. But it's just kind of weird that he kind of goes out of his way to kind of shit on him than any other detractor. Like, he doesn't really name drop D. Davidson. He knows who he is. And D. Davidson's pretty big. I mean, he's a pretty big detractor. But I mean, he goes straight to labeling Tevin a criminal. It's just weird. It's just weird to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it.
The biggest eye-opening thing.
Oh, he was shitting on Greeks last night? Oh, okay. Get him out of here.
Things I ever saw.
Oh yeah, he did shit on the SOK, so good point. Good point.
And just seeing that everyone who was in the Street
Well, I mean, I used to think that. I mean, I kind of don't necessarily believe that 100%, but I mean, I think there's something going on. I don't know. I thought it's weird to me that he goes more in the off the handle with Tevin. I don't know.
Fighter was kind of really cool with each other, although there were some rivalries and things. Don't get me wrong, West Coast East Coast rivalry, but even then, like, I was able to travel to the West Coast and stay with a couple people.
Well, it's a fucking rivalry.
I mean, just hanging out and playing, and they basically wanted to play against me and learn off of what I had known in Street Fighter or whatever. They didn't care about what color I fucking was. You know what I mean? Like, it's so stupid. And in my opinion,
oh yeah, they only cared about how much. This goes back to what you just said. Oh, I don't understand why people care about how much money I made, how much money people have. Oh, I don't get that, man. They were jealous because I was making more money than them. Okay. Very convenient, right?
It's a very, very outdated way to judge people, okay? Now that you're absolutely right, Infinite, in saying we have scientific evidence stating that skin color itself literally has nothing to do with anything. It just has to do with where,
It has nothing to do with anything, but it has something to do with where they were from.
A race of people came from the globe.
And it also kind of does matter because when you go through, like, medical emergencies and shit, people do have more tendency to get one thing over the other. Like, sickle cell, I think it's called sickle cell anemia. It's when the red blood cells like a sickle cell and it gets like clogged or whatever. I mean, mostly a lot of African Americans are prone to that. Or I don't know if it's just African Americans or just black people in general. Because I don't know if it's like Jamaicans get. I don't know. Fuck it. But usually those people tend to get it more often than white people. I mean, that kind of stuff matters. I mean, you're not gonna go to a doctor and list a problem like, oh, well, I'm black, but it doesn't matter. It's like, well, this is a very thing that only affects you, so it does matter in that regard, etc., etc. This is why it's a dumb fucking question. The question kind of is set up to make people look a certain way. It's kind of dumb, TBH. People shouldn't be asking these questions.
Oh no, the sun was stronger in Africa, so the people adapted their skin to evolve to it so they wouldn't get sunburn all the time. Oh, look, in Europe, there wasn't a lot of sun, so now they're pasty. Who gives a fuck about that? What the hell does that have to do with anything? Nothing at all. In 2018,
Okay.
the modern era, we shouldn't be caring about any of that kind of shit. The problem is people still can't get out of their old, outdated mindset.
I mean, the argument should be mostly people should not hate people on on those kind of reasons, which is fine, but it's just a roundabout way of saying it.
Of how things are. They've always been that way, and shucks if I'm gonna let this group of people with different skin color than me into my socioeconomic group or my place where I live or my club or my business.
This is coming from a guy that hated illegal immigrants coming in because they were taking his healthcare away. This is the guy that literally went on pre-streams in the past. I don't know which ones, but when it was even Ask the King, he fucking said, "Oh, these illegal immigrants come over and they take the healthcare, we're paying for them." But then tells us, "Oh, well, people should not be against sharing the equity." Okay.
Business or my herpaderp, whatever the hell it might be. It's really fucking dumb. It really is dumb.
I mean, I kind of think that people should have a right to healthcare. It's important. Healthcare is important.
What?
Wait, what?
What?
Huh?
I used to travel all over the place, East Coast, West Coast. I went globe-trotting to tournaments, conventions. And I ate all kinds of food at restaurants. Anyway, I need $16,000 for my accumulated debt.
Thanks for the $1 tip, Cypher. Yeah, he really needs that money. He really does. For his bills.
And I've never ever allowed that to make me make judgments or whatever off of anyone.
But he will judge them. He will judge them when it comes to healthcare. TBH.
I grew up in a Connecticut that we consider almost a bad part of Connecticut, and I would go to places and people would look at me who like from outside of the state with, "Oh my God, we're going there, but all those people over there are like black." I'm like, yeah, and if you're just cool, shit doesn't happen. If you purposely act like a fucking asshole, if you act uncomfortable, if you pick a fight, if you do dumb shit, you're gonna get in trouble. Sure.
So DSP admitted that his friend did something stupid to get killed, right? Because he told us he did nothing wrong. He did nothing before he got shot. Then he got murdered. But then tells us, well, if you walk around these neighborhoods and do shit, then shit will happen. So I guess he did something that caused it then. Very, very questionable. I mean, this is a very weird thing to question, but here we are. It's almost like maybe you shouldn't mention your friend's death on stream. Just saying.
Sure, but if you act like a normal fucking person, in general, no one wants to fuck with you. So why are you worried?
What if you have a lot of money, and they go to these neighborhoods, and then they're like, "Hey man, he's loaded. Let's get him." Okay.
Oh my God. I really never understood it. I never understood it at all. But that's just me. Sadly, like I said, like I just said earlier, there are people who grow up with a certain philosophy, or you're kind of ingrained into a certain belief system. There are people, sadly, in the United States
Ingrained.
who still believe to this day that people who are not white are like evil. Oh my God, they're lesser beings than us. They don't deserve any happiness or freedom because they came into our country. Little do they know, if you actually research it, that's not how it happened. But they came into our country, and
he's talking about when Columbus came. It's like this wasn't originally our land; it was the Native Americans. And then Columbus came, and then everyone else came, and yeah. Well, America is the land of the immigrants. The land of opportunity.
now they want things. It's like, oh my God. and fucking give me a headache. These fucking people with their outdated thinking. It blows my mind sometimes. Okay.
Well, I'm so mad. I mean, yeah, they exist, and yeah, sure, they suck. Okay, but I mean, you can move on from this question.
Okay. So anyway, I think
I gotta zip up and get
it
cold,
has
dude.
nothing to do with anything, skin color. But you know, they're always gonna have people who are gonna believe that, and there's not much you could do about it. You know, today's Thanksgiving, and how many people will be spending time with family or relatives or friends who are like that, and you have to kind of sit at the turkey table and be like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put up with this guy fucking muttering about the Latinos or the black."
The meme. He takes this meme about Thanksgiving so seriously. Let me tell you about this meme. Because the one that I kind of agree with is that it is awkward when you are, just hanging out with your family. Your family might, they mean well, but they might be like, oh, why are you playing video games, Sonny? Oh, you're always playing the vid games and this and that. That might happen. Sure, but I don't think there's ever, like, a serious meme, or, like, people who have family members that just go to Thanksgiving and just randomly spout racism like this. It's kind of a meme. And he takes it fucking seriously. Okay.
Thanks again. I gotta fucking put up with this idiot talking about this when in reality I don't want to start a fight. But this guy does this every fucking year, and I gotta hear it, right? You know, I've been there too. Because I have family members like.
Really? Your fucking Italian, Polish family done it too? Okay.
That too. Okay, so you know what can you say? Some people.
It's nice to know that his family's racist. You know, it's it's just really nice to just go on camera and just say that, yeah, I have racist family members. Yeah, man. I have racist family members. That what a good thing to say about your family. I'm sure your mom and dad are proud of you, DSP.
Want to actually be modernized and enlightened, and other people just want to live in this crazy ass, belief system of people are superior to others. I don't know what else to say about that.
He probably thinks Get Out is based on a true story.
All right, let us now move on to forum questions. These are questions that people posted up on the forums, and I chose the best ones. Okay, well, let me take that back. I didn't choose the best ones. I chose the ones that I felt.
No, he means the best ones. But let's go. Oh my god, best dream Thanksgiving dinner. No, we're not gonna fucking bother with that. It's gonna be, oh, I like food. I like turducken, the food bear. So we don't need that. Plans for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Well, I can tell you guys this. I don't got a Switch. I'm not playing it. I'm hyped for it, but I can't play it. But man, can't wait to hear what DSP has in store.
All right. The next question from McLeo. And McLeo asks the following. He says, with Smash for the 3DS and Wii U, you seem to have quite a bit of fun at first, but later on it seemed like you didn't enjoy it that much. Not even coming back to it as a way to play with your fans later or any kind of special multiplayer stream. My question is, with the new Smash, how do you plan to play the game? Do you have any plans to use Smash as a game to play during a multiplayer stream or future streams? Well, the good news about Smash...
What he should do... Now, this apparently it might break the bank, apparently, but he could play it once a week, like Blackout, which he does once a week. You could just do that. Why not just have the beginning of the week just rotate different multiplayer games, like Super Smash, Street Fighter, Call of Duty, etc., etc. Why does he need to exclusively play Blackout? Now, of course, they can say, well, I make no money from Nintendo games. But you don't need to play Super Smash Bros. Like every day, every waking moment of your life. Playing it for 2 hours is really going to bankrupt your channel? Once a week? Really? I mean, you take a whole day fucking off. And you take half a day off on Sunday. So you're telling me you can't play Super Smash Bros. Once a week? Okay.
Brothers Ultimate.
I mean, he makes more money playing a Nintendo game than he does on his day off. Just think about that. He makes more money playing a Nintendo game than taking a day off. And he wants you to believe that if he plays Nintendo games, he won't make any money on it. Well, he makes more than he does on his day fucking off.
Which I believe is what it's called, right? Is that they're basically kind of going back. With the last Smash, they kind of, in my opinion, went in the wrong direction. They took out a ton of content. They basically made it mostly multiplayer focused with almost no single player content at all.
Hey, it's kind of like the original Smash. There was no fucking story mode in Smash. Brawl was the only one that had it. And if anything, if you ask me, Melee had the best. It had, adventure mode. Adventure mode was fun. I like that a lot more. The 3DS had a good single-player run. The Wii U one, whatever, but everyone mostly plays Super Smash Bros. For the fucking multiplayer. But, okay.
This time they kind of went back, and now they re-added the single-player content, which is great. It's supposed to have a robust story mode. That is 100% where I'm going first. I'm going to this robust story mode.
Of course, because everyone literally plays Super Smash Bros. For the single player.
To play various characters and mess around with them.
This is like the same nonsense that people cry about Street Fighter. No one plays Street Fighter for the fucking story. Why? Like, when the story mode came out, everyone was like, oh, the story mode for Street Fighter 5 is shitty. It's so stupid, man. It's fucking Street Fighter. You're really gonna tell me that a game that has people throwing fireballs out of their fists and just beating people up on the street has a good story? Okay.
To see their abilities and the like, and try to get a more of an understanding for
Dude,
Smash.
his Nintendo opinions, like, it's to the point where, like, I'm all for troll cheering and shit and baiting him, but his Nintendo rants don't really trigger him as much as it triggers me. I can't fucking stand it. Because it's the same shit. Nintendo's out of date. They're behind. It's so fucking dumb. I hate it. I fucking hate it.
Again, just by playing through this fun story.
I feel like people do it just to get to me. They troll to your DSP about fucking Nintendo just to piss me off.
Okay. Then once the story mode is done, then I can kind of say, gee, what else do I want to do? Is there other single-player content? Do I maybe want
Yeah, he wants to avoid fucking online as much as possible. Dude, he'll just do online 1 or 2 sessions and drop it. Sadly, guys, I have to go to the bathroom. God damn it. So we will take a mini break. And we will go to, no, we're not gonna go to a D. Davison video. We're gonna go to a classic video by this channel, if I could find a, there we go. Oh, let's see, watch an old weekend preview. I'll be back.
What's up, everyone? It's DSP, and I'm doing something a little bit different with this video. Being that I am now, if you've missed it, trying to figure out how to turn my YouTube presence into a full-time job, pretty much. I decided that it's going to be a little bit important for me to announce to everyone exactly what I'll be doing in the coming weeks. So what I'm going to do is once a week, probably on a Sunday, I'll try to do it on a Sunday, probably Monday at the latest, I'm going to go ahead and do this video. This is going to be called the Weekend Preview. I'm going to explain now what exactly I'll be doing over the next week and also what I feel is important for you to know in the coming week. First of all, let me put it to you this way. Over this past weekend, I put out a couple videos on the King of Hate HD, basically explaining that I'm trying to do this as a full-time job, but I need basically the support of my fans. And to make it, to say it in the only way that I can really say it is, it's been a great weekend for me. Things are looking very good, and if we can keep up the pattern of, how things went down this weekend, it's going to work out. But the problem is I'm not sure if it's going to continue. I don't know if anything could basically throw a monkey wrench into what's going on. But basically, if you can, it's going to be like a catchphrase. Let's put it this way. To support me, there's 3 things you can do. watch, rate, and participate. Watch my videos, rate the videos if you like them. Obviously, if you put, if I have videos that have everyone likes them, it definitely gives me a chance to get featured on YouTube, to basically have those come out as like one of the featured videos on the right-hand side of the page or on the main page of YouTube. More people will see it. It's a better opportunity. And participate, which I talked about in my last channel update. So if you could do those 3 things, and we continue with the same pattern that basically has happened over this past weekend, and as long as nothing happens that might throw, you know, like I said, throw a monkey wrench into our plans, things are going very well right now. Let's put it that way. I will give you more information as it comes. Unfortunately, I can't give you the full story because I'm not allowed to, but basically I will let you know. But for now, great weekend. Keep doing what you're doing. Some things that you need to know. First of all, I have a Twitter page, which I've mentioned before, but it's becoming more and more useful as the days go on because a lot of people constantly ask me, what am I doing? Where's my next video going? Since I have so many channels on YouTube, my Twitter page is They Call Me DSP, so it's www.twitter.com/TheyCallMeDSP. Daily, I'm putting multiple updates on that Twitter page explaining what games I'm playing, what's going on, if there's a circumstance that changes. So, for example, today, actually, I played a little bit of Halo Reach in the morning, and I announced that. Then it ends up I got a call that Howard was actually doing a Super Turbo setup with some people over at his house, and he had a stream going on the internet. So I put that up on the Twitter page while I was over there. And now I actually just put a Twitter up saying that, you know, there's going to be different games that I'm playing this week. So Twitter is a great place to find out what I'm doing and on what channel it'll be on. So I recommend everyone run over to Twitter and start following me, because I tell you, it's just going to be beneficial for you rather than having to kind of jump around the pages to figure out what's going on. That's a really good central place to get information. So please go take a look at that. Also, keep in mind, I have items on sale on Cafe Press, which is www.cafepress.com/DarksidePhil. All kinds of merch. I mean, we're talking mugs. A beer stein seems to be one of the most popular items right now. They've been selling over the past couple of days. And
All right.
characters into like a training session and try to, or do I just want to go online? Because the thing is, you know, unlike other fighting games,
Why go to a training session and fucking Smash? It's fucking Smash. Cleo could play that game.
far more traditional. Smash is very much a game that was built as a party game first, then eventually through a lot of honing and tweaking turned into a competitive game. And I honestly don't really care about being good at it. And just being very honest with you guys, I don't. You know, Street Fighter,
care.
yeah, any Street Fighter game I play, I at least want to have some kind of a basic understanding of the game, so that when I'm playing online, I'm not getting my ass handed to me. I don't really care about that with Smash. I just don't give a crap. So I think what
I mean, I do kind of see where it's coming from with it saying it's a party game, because it's a game that, you know, if you're having a party at a friend's house, I mean, people can play it, but I would consider it a fighting game. But I mean, I kind of see why he would consider it a party game, but I mean, I think it depends on how you look at it.
Is, like I said, first check out the story mode, see how it goes. All right. Then once the story mode's over, just maybe jump online with various characters and mess around with the modes and the like. I'm sure that there's going to be both competitive modes as well as more casualized online modes. Like, let's face it, the modes that have like varied stages with the crazy items and shit is real wild. And I remember playing that and actually liking some of that because it was just so insane doing it with the crazy items and shit.
I like the item stuff, but at the same time, some of the items are a little too much.
But
they're a little too much.
We'll see. We'll see how it goes and go from there. You know, I'm not going to promise you anything because I don't even know how the game's going to turn out. What if I play it and I end up playing the story mode and it's boring and I hate it, and I try to go online, I'm like, I don't like this game, then I'm not going to play it. If I play the game and I really like it and I enjoy it, then I will play it. You know what I mean?
So if the story is bad, he won't play it, but how many games has he played recently that he hated the story, but he still played it? Ask Creed Odyssey, he said he hates the grinding and this and that. He put up with that. Oh, Super Smash Brothers has a stupid story mode. Fuck it. Fuck this game. Really showing his Nintendo hate boner right now.
But what I will say is this, okay, and this is being very honest with you.
Well, Dio. Ken is garbage. Fuck Ken. He's a grappler. Get him out of here. Ken is always duty. Fuck him. Get him out of here. Fuck Ken.
As you guys know, first-party Nintendo titles, I make no money on YouTube on them at all, okay? Nintendo claims everything. So that being said, for me to do extended coverage of Smash would require that people actually show up to the streams and participate on the streams and are part of the stream.
People fucking cheer and tip every day. As I said, he makes more money by streaming a Nintendo game than he does taking a day off. An entire day off. And he's the goal. I don't know if I should be able to play it. He takes a day off and takes a half day on Sunday. Okay.
Streams. And I know people on YouTube will be like, but yo, blah, blah, blah. I know. Listen, I know. It sucks.
Oh! But you said you're a Twitch streamer. YouTube is an archive. What? Okay.
But, you know, it's going to rely on stream support for me to continuously play those games. Because I'm going to see a big dip in YouTube revenue at the time when I'm playing Smash. So, let's see how it goes.
I like how he keeps doing these pouty lips, like, when I'm playing Smash.
I'm definitely getting the game. We'll play it by ear and go from there. I'm not going to promise the world anything because I can tell you I am interested in the other modes and stuff, but let's see how it goes. Okay?
He's not gonna
All right,
fucking
couple
play
shout-outs
it.
here.
He would much rather play fucking games that make him no money on Twitch but make money on YouTube than playing a game that he can make money on Twitch and no money on YouTube.
Trollatronic says, "Why is the chat so dead?" I don't know what you're talking about. The chat's not dead at all. The chat has been going. Boop, 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 boop.
By the way, he got banned because guess what? Guess what, guys? Trollatronics was a troll. Whoa!
Like a mile a minute ever since I started the show. I think Trollatronics, your Twitch may be screwed up. You might want to refresh. DJ Sandex did a 100-bit cheer. Thank you very much. And Die James gifted a subscription to DJ Sandex. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay. Continuing on. The next question is from Hermano Carl, and he has two different questions. His first question is, do you have a favorite book and which one would you recommend? Man, I haven't read a good book in a long time, but then again, I'm so busy with everything.
I kind of don't want to bother with this question. Favorite book, authors, no, I don't really read.
I really don't have a lot of time to do much. What I would say is, the last good book series I read was Game of Thrones, but sadly it fell off. Like, I remember reading the first 3 to 4 Game of Thrones books and loving them, and then when I got to the last one, I hated it. I was like, dude, George R.R. Martin basically lost track of what he wanted to do and got so convoluted in his own fucking head that he created characters that really...
I have a feeling he just had other characters introduced in the story, and that was too much for DSP's little brain to handle. So he was like, oh, lost me, man. Fuck this.
Nothing interesting to do in the whole fucking series, and the books are disjointed and not even in the same timeline.
Yeah, it requires too much brain thought for him.
So Game of Thrones is a perfect example of a book series that starts off strong, but because of its own popularity, it fell apart over time.
Yeah, it required too much thinking.
Rest in peace, Michael Crichton. In my opinion, one of the best modern authors that ever existed. So many cool like sci-fi themed stuff. You know, Jurassic Park is the one everyone knows, but he did other things like Sphere and the Andromeda Strain, and just so many. I can't even think of all off the top of my head, but I read every major Michael Crichton book, and I loved Michael Crichton's work. Outside of that, I read a few things from Dan Brown. I actually read things like the Da Vinci Code, Angels and Demons, and there was another one, too, that he wrote that I'm pretty sure I read, the next one after that. I think Dan Brown's good, although he uses just a lot of cliche stuff. There's always a crazy twist and shit that you don't expect, but sometimes it's, like, unbelievable, the stupid twists. But I think that those are pretty good books.
Sphere versus the Orc.
I read the actual Lord of the Rings trilogy, the Tolkien books, and those are really good. But the difference between Tolkien...
I like how he reads all these books that are, like, mainstream. Soon as he can tell us he is a huge Harry Potter fan.
Lord of the Rings and the movie Lord of the Rings is that Tolkien really, in his books, completely elaborates on everything.
Oh, you gotta see his little stress
he will
ball.
describe the orcs down.
Why
to
does he have the stress ball?
to the nines.
I
He'll-
thought
he'll
this was
give, like,
relaxing.
tons of atmospheric.
Dude, he's like flaunting his stress ball. Flaunting it. Wow, this is empty, guys. Empty can. Ooh.
stuff, so you kind of can really visualize what's going on in your head. While in a movie, they don't have to do that. So, like, in the movies, they could steamroll through things that in the books took, like, entire chapters. And then also in the books, there was a lot of elaboration, a lot of characters like Tom Bombadil and stuff.
Tom Bombadil.
In my opinion, was kind of cool,
Bombadil?
interesting, but at the same time kind of silly.
Bobby.
But it was okay to take a chapter or two of the book and be silly, while in the movie, it wouldn't even have a place. It wouldn't make sense. So
it's okay for the books for those movies that have goofy nonsense, but George R. R. Martin adding other characters to his story? Fuck that. That's stupid. Okay.
the Tolkien books are good. That's about it. Like, when I was a kid, I used to read stuff. Like, I used to read
Darksman Bombadil.
who would write the Redwall series of books. These were
Darksman Bombadil.
animals.
Oh my
Animals that
god.
acted like humans.
Darks.
And it was supposed to be set in...
Hold on, I want to master this. Darksfamabidil. 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 Darksfamabidil.
Britain, and they would have abbeys, Redwall Abbey, where the animals would live there and try to coexist and protect the abbey from invaders and the like. And then there were spin-offs of other things, knights and stuff. It was like basically medieval anthropomorphic animals. I read that when I was younger. So there you go. Those are basically the major book series that I've read in my life. I haven't read anything in a million years, though. Like I said, the last thing I actually read was the Game of Thrones series.
DSP begs the hobbits for
One final
money.
one. Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. If you are a cynical person or you like dry, cynical humor, you will absolutely love that book series. At the time of my life when I read it, that's what I was into.
I thought he hated dry humor.
I absolutely loved it. I will strongly recommend, though, you do not watch the movie. The movie basically bastardizes a lot of the plot lines and crams like 5 books into one shitty movie. The books are way better. There you go. Okay. Hermano Carl has a second question. He says, would you do another run of the Dark Souls games with a sorcerer build? I know it...
Nope, fuck that. We're not doing that. He's gonna be, actually, no, fuck it. I don't play Dark Souls, so I can't play
More
it.
fun and interesting, in my opinion.
I can't answer it.
If people actually wanted to see that, absolutely. Of course, I've never done a magic build except for my original run in Dark Souls 2, which was kind of unintentional. Because if you guys remember, I wanted to be a paladin build, which was going to be primarily melee class with healing. But then all of a sudden, I realized the lightning bolts were so overpowered that I just became everything into lightning bolts, right?
It's almost like he read a guide. Weird.
So you're right. I've never done like an offensive magic / sorcerer style build before. Now that I'm much better at the Dark Souls franchise, I'm
he's much better. He's much better at running from enemies, grinding, being over leveled. He's really good at that. And cheesing. He's really good at cheesing.
Maybe it would make sense because, as we know, those sorcerers are kind of like glass cannons, right? They can't take damage for shit, but they deal tons of damage. So I could definitely be interested in something like that. I guess the real question here would be, how would we do it? Would we start from Dark Souls 1, right? Start with Dark Souls 1, try to do a sorcerer build. The other thing is, I don't know anything about it. I don't know what I've always gone through Dark Souls, found a million items and things, and never known what
Bitchbecker's Guide to the
right?
Dark Souls.
Like, oh, here, a ring for mages. I don't need that. Fucking throw it out, right? But now it would be like, damn, I need to know where all the good magic gear is.
Now I need to find the cheesy magic gear. That's what this is, really. It's just him cheesing the game. He has to find the cheese, dude.
To avoid it every time I've ever played the series. So it would be an interesting take on it. But yeah.
People should just ask him to do a run of Dark Souls without grinding.
Say is, I'm definitely interested.
But even that would suck too.
But I would need help. That would definitely be a series where if I'm going to go through the Dark Souls franchise doing magic builds that I've never done before, I need help to tell me where's the equipment and shit to get to become the better magic class.
Why not learn? Why not learn on your own? Why do you need your fucking chat?
Just do it and don't know where anything is, then what's the point, right?
But you notice how it's funny that he immediately cites, maybe I should Dark Souls. Because, the remaster came out. I think I know what he's gonna do next year, because, DSP operates on fucking, cycles. He doesn't do anything new. He does tried and true nonsense.
Okay. Shout out to Faithin131, who was resale for the 21st month in a row and says, Happy Thanksgiving, Phil. Keep up the awesome work and looking forward to another year of great content. Thank you very much, Faithin, for that. I appreciate that. All right, let's continue on. From Derek Loves Lemur.
Okay, we're skipping this, Derek. You asked wrestling. Fuck wrestling. Thoughts on pinball tables and streaming console pinball games. What the holy fuck is this?
Okay. Continuing on, Cisco Certified asks the following. He says, what are some of your favorite pinball tables of all time? Would you ever stream a console pinball, such as Stern Pinball or the Pinball Arcade? I did play various pinball games back in the day because I grew up in arcades, but the one pinball table that no matter where I went, I loved playing, it was called Circus Voltaire. And what it was like a circus that was like a dark, evil circus, okay? So it was kind of creepy, and the reason I liked it is because it actually had like movement and stuff on the table. There was like things that would move ramps and stuff when you played it. And there was a couple skill checks in it where basically if you just keep hitting the same ramp over and over, you get like double, triple, quad bonus. And I actually got really good at the game. I was able to get like high scores. I never maxed out the score at my local arcade on it, but I was pretty close. I think I got up to like 3rd place. And Circus Voltaire...
Fuck this. We're done. We're done with this. We're done with this fucking question. I'm really disappointed I listened to even a minute of this. Have esports changed fighting games? In my opinion, obviously, because now people cannot pick Cammy's certain outfits for Cammy. They had to change the super and the intro for Cammy and Armika Super. They had to change that. So, yeah, esports did change fighting games in terms of sex appeal, but at the same time, they're fucking fighting games. Of course, they're gonna have esports appeal.
Dean Jones asked the following. He says, seeing as you have a long history with the competitive gaming industry, particularly fighting games, have you noticed any differences in how esports are played or viewed now compared to when it started out?
I mean, the one that DSP is going to talk about is money. Oh, the money. Before it was for free and then the love of the game. Now it's money, money, money.
Competitive Street Fighter era. Yeah, it's a totally different thing. Today, esports Street Fighter is nothing like old school Street Fighter. First of all, when you used to play Street Fighter in the arcades, you had to have thick fucking skin. And the reason I say that is because it was very much a smash-mouth, trash-talking style environment. If you walked into an arcade and you were going to
He says this, but then when he talked with the FGC and all that shit, he's like, I don't have anything to do with them. They are so mean. They are mean. Okay.
Someone on a cabinet, you're probably going to get shit-talked to you. Oh, you suck. Who do you think you are? You think you're going to beat me? And you're in a game, you drop a combo, someone would turn you, you dropped your combo, scrub, and stuff like that. Like, that was very much a part of the whole arcade experience back in the day. Today, you can't do that at a tournament. You get banned, or you get disqualified for trash talking or whatever. Right?
Yeah, but who fucking does that during a match? I mean, I think Kevin said this when he watched this. Was like, who fucking trash talks during a match?
Right? Back then, okay, it was more of the courage to get in line and face your opponent in person and put up with that kind of almost boys club mentality of, you would earn respect by continuously showing up every week, playing on that cabinet, and eventually becoming good, even though you were having all this fucking shit talking and distractions and stuff like that, okay? And a lot of people weren't okay with that. Today it's a very different environment. You train at home, you play online, right? Maybe you play with a few respected peers in a safe environment. It wasn't like that.
You play with respected peers in an environment. Didn't you say that's how it was in the arcades? He used Boys Club in the fucking example. Okay.
Back then. Number 2, there was no money in it. And I mean that. Even the biggest tournaments back in the day on arcades had no money in them. You would travel across the country, which would cost you hundreds of thousands of dollars. You have to pay for room and board, food, and then you go to a tournament, pay an entry fee, play for 2 straight fucking days, finally get to the finals, beat it. Okay, here's your reward, $500.
There is no money in it, but here's $500. Sounds like there's money involved.
Spent more than that on the plane. You know what I mean?
Because it was starting up. You can't expect a fucking small tournament to cover fucking flight fares and shit. Because you don't have to fucking go to the tournament. Okay.
Used to be. It was more for the love of the game and the fact that you could realize there was a high level competitive play at a game that normally you wouldn't play at that level because you were just playing against local people, that got people into wanting to play competitive Street Fighter at a higher level and wanting to travel. And honestly, for me, what I really got out of competitive Street Fighter was way more complex than just getting better at the game or winning a tournament. It was
complex.
Making, relationships and friendships with people across the country.
Yeah, and where are they now? Oh.
Meeting people of different cultures, different races, different
areas,
cultures,
dude.
Geographic
Geographical.
locations. I mean, in my time playing competitive Street Fighter, I went through the entire Northeast United States, including places like New Jersey, Vermont, Massachusetts, New York, obviously Connecticut, Rhode Island, then starting heading south places like Virginia, Maryland, Georgia, Florida, then starting to move west, places like Texas and stuff like that. I've been up to the Midwest area like Chicago, and then California, and various parts of California, both the NorCal and SoCal, North California and Southern California.
How to explain what SoCal, NoCal
If I
means?
wasn't playing competitive Street Fighter, you know what I mean? Like, I would have went out there. I mean, yeah, I still could have done that, but it would have been more just walking around like a tourist. Instead, I got to really know the people, see the culture, hang out with them, try the local cuisine.
Oh yeah, good. Well, Kofkos, he saved money. Come on, he's a hard worker. That Phil, he earned that keep.
It was really cool.
He told us he saved his money, dude. Come on.
It absolutely was a really cool thing.
Being negative,
being a part of all of that. But that's what I mean. That's what it was back then. It was kind of like, it's my hobby, it's a passion, and you do it for the love of the game, but also for the fun of meeting people. Today, esports is very much a business. I do it to make money. I want to get sponsors, I want to stream and make money on my streams, and I want this to become a career.
Oh yeah, these people play Street Fighter because they want to make money. That's what it is.
But also for the fun of meeting people. Today, esports is very much a business. I do it to make money. I want to get sponsors, I want to stream and make money on my streams, and I want this to become a career, and I want blah, blah, blah.
This is coming from a guy who made his YouTube channel a career. Just think about that for a moment.
You see what I mean? It's different. When things become big business, it all changes, and it really changed with Street Fighter 4. When Street Fighter 4 released, all of a sudden we had all of these peripheral companies who wanted to make money. So you had Mad Cat, you had Hori, you had, who was the other third big one? There were 3 big joystick manufacturers at that time. I'm having a brain fart. But now you got even more. Razer and other companies there.
Razer, yeah.
You got big teams that now try to seek out sponsors and sponsorship. You wear a jersey to the tournament with fucking patches all over it and shit. You see what I mean? Like, very different. When I went, it was all about you. It was all about you as a person, just representing your local region of the country and trying to show off that your region of the country had skill, and also just kind of just having fun. It's kind
so they can't have fun now. Weird.
Like they say with everything. Back in the day, sports, right? Professional sports were all about the love of the game. The basketball player who did it because he loved the game. The baseball player who did it because he loved the game. Now it's, well, unless I get my $1 million contract year over year, I'm not playing the game.
Well, they make money off of that, and they also are shown on TV, and they do all kinds of fucking stuff. They have to travel as well. And they already got that amount of money, so if they get paid less at this point, it would be seen pretty badly from them. Because they'd be like, wait, I made this much and now I'm making less. What the fuck? You want them to play sports for fun, for free? I mean, if they can do it for free, then it can't be a job, and then sports networks won't have a lot of games to show, because those people would be off getting jobs. Okay.
So that's what I mean. Like, it's very much a business at this point.
He makes money off the things that he's having fun with. These people make money off stuff that they have fun. That's stupid. See, they're sellouts. Unlike me, who gets paid to do stuff that I think is fun. Okay.
And quite frankly, because of that, what I've seen is that sadly games have changed to cater to that. And sadly, you know, it's very hard, I would say, for someone who has that aspiration that maybe one day I could be a top guy like this esports guy that I see to get into it. Do you have the backing, the funding? Do you think you have what it takes, the time and dedication to basically just play the fucking game constantly to get on a team? Because I'll be honest, when I was growing up playing competitive fighting games, I only had 2 days a week where I could really play them, Friday, Saturday. And it would be Friday night, Saturday night, go to the local arcade, play. And that was it. The rest of my week was school, work, and all of that. And then every once in a while,
All of that.
I
What?
had a long weekend.
The rest of the weeks was school, work, all of that.
Or I took time away from school and work so I could go on a trip to go to a tournament. But, like, that was it. Today, if you want to be a pro-level player, fuck that. You got to drop everything. You got to sit here, play the game all day long, right? Because that's what these people have turned it into. It's not... It used to be a video game for the love of the game. Now it's a video game for the sake of becoming a business and making money.
But if you like the game, what's wrong with making money off of it?
So it's a full-time deal. You got to sit there and do it constantly.
Again, coming from a guy who has to wake up every morning and play video games to pay the bills. Whoops.
And so that's a big hindrance, you know, for a lot of people who has the time and money where they don't have to work and they don't have to fucking go to school or nothing, where they could just sit there and play a game and become so good at it that now you can do that as your job. See what I mean?
A lot of people. Okay.
It's a very
Very
different thing than it used to be.
Not really.
I'm not saying it's better or worse. And quite frankly, you know, I was part of of competitive Street Fighter during its formative years.
All that happens is you got more games targeted for that.
Okay? And it was a lot of flux and a lot of drama. Like, I remember the year when Evo went from playing on all
God
arcade
damn it.
cabinets.
Oh, it was something fucking stupid. I hate those fucking callers that say, Theodore? Who is this? You're harder to reach than my husband. Ah! It's like, oh, fucking shut up. Fucking robots.
Cabinets to console. Oh my god, and I was one of the people against console. I wanted to play on the arcade cabinet because I wanted that consistent control level. That version of the game was the game that you knew. I wanted to stay on arcade cabinets, and you know, look at how well that didn't last very long, right? You know, all that stuff, those formative years of what Street Fighter and what fighting games would become at a high competitive level.
Oh, I don't say yes anymore. I try not to. There's only like one time I accidentally did, and I was really paranoid. I kept like a good close eye on my personal shit, but man, every other time it's just, hello, who is this?
Allowing it to eventually go into an esports level. Because let's face it, if all arcade games, or if all Street Fighter games and all fighting games in general stayed on arcade cabinets, there'd be no esports. What peripheral can you sell to play on an arcade cabinet? The button company, right? So replacement buttons that cost like less than $1 each. You know what I mean? Like, so esports are possible because of sponsorship, and sponsorship brings in a whole new level of stuff that changes the face of something, and that's what happened with things like competitive fighting games. Okay.
But it doesn't really change
I probably
anything.
got time for one more question before we take a break.
Okay, what was the question? What was it? Thoughts on Case Act making it safer to protect copyright content?
Couple more shout outs. Insomniatic Meat resub for the 23rd month in a row. Thank you very much, Insomniatic Meat.
I don't know
Cash
much
Only
about
did
that, so
100
I
What are your thoughts on
can't
Diablo
talk.
Infinite? I really don't have any. Like, I'm probably never gonna play it. Just being honest, I'm probably never gonna touch the thing. Like me. And Straight Cash Homie did 100-bit cheers. What are your thoughts on Diablo Infinite? I really don't have any. Like,
Diablo Infinite.
I'm probably never gonna play it. Just being honest, I'm probably never gonna touch the thing.
The guy who plays a lot of mobile games won't touch a mobile game. Why?
I have no desire to play Diablo on a phone. The game's addictive enough on PC. I can just imagine me just all I do clicking all day on the phone.
How is it addictive on PC if you never played it? Do you see DSP craving Diablo? Wait a second.
Why the fans who wanted Diablo 4 are so furiously angry that the game exists?
It seems like DSP just hopped on a bandwagon and only hates Diablo Immortals because it's cool to hate it. That's what it sounds like to me.
And that's pretty much it. Like, I just don't care. For me, it's like a non-answer.
With the classic angry
Okay, one
phone
more
call.
question, and then we'll take a break. This question is from Toddle. And he
Toddle.
says, Phil, the House of Representatives is trying to create a copyright small claims court to lower the cost of suing copyright infringers. It's called HR 3945, aka the CASE Act. Awards would be capped at $30,000, but you probably wouldn't need to spend $10,000 to get a lawyer to start your case. What do you think about this? How would it make it easier to go after people that repost your content? All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know, I have had ridiculous amounts of problems over the years with people illegally, without permission, stealing my content off of YouTube and using it for various purposes. In general, I don't mind it. I never really cared if someone would take my gameplay and do something fun with it or positive with it, but I really didn't enjoy when people would take the gameplay and then make a video that was misrepresentative of what my content actually is.
So, okay. So he's saying that he doesn't like people taking his content and making negative montages of it because it's misrepresentative of his product. However, you could say that same argument about taking content and making it look good. You could say that, oh, this video that makes DSP look good is misrepresenting who DSP really is. It can go both ways. So this claim that, oh, it's one-sided, or I like fun things, it's not really right, and it's flimsy at best.
For the sake of saying, oh, look, Phil's a jerk or Phil sucks, and just kind of poke fun and make me look bad. Because sadly, that hurts myself, that hurts my business, that hurts my reputation. And, you know, over the years, there have been various times when I've spoken with either a partner network who I was a part of or directly with YouTube saying what could be done in regards
I thought you don't look that up. I thought you didn't care. Whoops.
People who are literally the worst offenders. Someone who will take my stuff completely out of context to make it look like I'm a villain or I'm something I'm not, and basically try to misrepresent me with slander or whatever on YouTube. And over the years, the response I always got was very simple. Use YouTube's automated system that's put in place. And I was like, okay. And, you know, every once in a while you would try it. Or it never works, okay? Never.
Dude, it's either does a lot of this or this, and he's wearing shorts. So, I mean, remember, guys, he's struggling for cash. He has to pinch all the pennies, except those to the heater.
At all. Because here's what happens on YouTube if you try to do anything with copyright. You basically find a video that you feel is infringing, okay? And you tell YouTube, I think it's infringing. They literally stole my content. You know, you can see it. It's in the video. I didn't give permission for this. And what YouTube will do is review it. And if they find that a certain percentage of your content was used in a certain other person's video without your permission, they will basically take down that video temporarily and send a notice to that person stating they now have received a copyright strike against their channel. And that person then has to either ignore it and say, okay, I lost, I guess. I got a copyright strike against my channel. I have to get it, you know, expired in like 6 months or however long it takes now for a copyright strike. And that person then has to either ignore it and say, okay, I lost, I guess. I got a copyright strike against my channel. I have to get it, you know, expired in like 6 months or however long it takes now for a copyright strike to expire.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds exactly like how DSP responded to his copyright strike. He got a copyright strike and immediately ran to cry about it. Everyone else, oh, well, I guess I got a copyright strike. It is what it is, man. I'll wait until it runs out. DSP gets a copyright strike. Guys, I could lose my house tomorrow now. I got a copyright strike. I could lose everything. What did I do? They want to kill me. They want to kill me. Okay.
I can dispute it. If you dispute a copyright strike on YouTube, basically you are making a legal claim that I believe this is false. I used that person's content within the confines of what's allowed of fair use law in the United States of America, and therefore this is a false claim and it should be removed, okay? YouTube takes absolutely no legal stance whatsoever and doesn't do any research whatsoever into the situation. If they receive a counterclaim, they immediately remove the copyright strike and put the video back live. Okay.
That's not necessarily the case, but okay.
And then basically they tell the person who did the claim, well, unless you're going to sue the person, there's nothing we can do. So in essence, the truth of the matter is there is zero way to protect any copywritten content on YouTube unless you are a giant company that's filthy rich and has a legal department that can file lawsuit against every single person.
Yeah, you need a team of people to do it. Oh, okay.
Who steals your content, okay? Now, to counter this, what's happened is YouTube now has a content ID system by which, let's say a major company like Universal Pictures, Sony Music, stuff like that. Well, we know we can't sue every fucking person that uses our content, so instead of that, we'll identify it via a bot who will search videos automatically on YouTube, and if we think we identify content that's ours, we just want to claim rights on that video and make money on that video.
Or they could block it. Kind of like what happens every fucking time I do a stream and play any song from the fucking Pillows. I love the Pillows. I love their music. But every time I do a stream, I get a notification that my video is fucking blocked. The Pillows, if you're watching this video, which I hope you are, please tell someone in your department to not do that anymore. Claim the video. Just take the money. Don't fucking block it. Everyone deserves to listen to your music in any form that they can. It's good fucking music. Come on, Pillows.
That's what they do. That's what this whole content ID system is.
The Last Dinosaur, exactly. You know what? Sorry, Normal brings up a very good point. That song has a whole new meaning. The Pillows is the last dinosaur of fucking blocked content. Okay? They're the fucking dinosaur when it comes to that. They're the last ones. I think they are together and 1337 because they did the music for Fooly Cooly Alternative and Progressive that came out recently, so they have to be together to do that.
And all of a sudden you'll get to think, oh, we identified a song in your video, and now all advertising rights on that video go to this music company. Like, wait a minute. First of all,
Nintendo claims they don't block.
Of a music clip or there was a piece of music in a video game doesn't mean 100% of the fucking advertisement rights of this video that's an hour.
Petty-chan, no. I think the Pillows have the power. They could just fucking throw their weight around. They're pretty big.
Long should go to this company. That legally makes no fucking sense. Number two, a lot of the times it's not even correct.
Oh, I don't know.
Just this
about
past
that.
week, I've gotten 3 different things. One of them, of all things, my fucking Detroit Become Human playthrough.
King of Misfortune, I agree. Fooly Cooly didn't need a second or third season. I agree with that. But Fooly Cooly Alternative was pretty good. Progressive was garbage. I hated it. But Alternative was really good. It was really good. So I liked Alternative. I mean, it's not as good as the original, but it's fun. I liked it. So there you go.
This year,
sound good?
Someone claiming that it's real content ID, it's someone else's content. I'm like, wait, what? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, it wasn't even like music. It was some other YouTuber somehow claimed my video. Now they didn't do it manually. It was the bot that did it. And I'm looking at like, what the fuck? So I did get it cleared up. I had to dispute it, and I got it cleared up. So basically, YouTube's copyright infringement system is so broken, almost no one uses it anymore. Instead, they've all jumped to this content ID. They pay YouTube a ton of money to get their content uploaded to YouTube server bot that searches everything, and then they try to steal ad revenue from other people. Which,
how does he know people have to pay for the content ID system? Weird.
Never went to court would also be found illegal, but no one bothers with it, okay? So it's a mess. YouTube is a fucking mess. The problem is that YouTube requires an actual lawsuit to permanently take down any video on YouTube, okay? For those who don't know, as Toddle just said, it could take thousands of dollars to actually file a lawsuit against anyone. And it takes time and money that most individual YouTubers like me don't have that or don't want to bother with that. There's so many people who steal my content and do whatever the fuck they want with it. How on earth would I ever keep track of it? And how the hell would I ever take it all down? You know, who has the money and time for that? Nobody. So what Toddle is saying is that I guess finally our government in the United States is trying to catch up with the times and realizing, oh shit, copyright is digital now. It's not just like, oh, someone's selling a knockoff t-shirt in a store or someone, you know, is selling bootleg movies on the fucking streets in New York City. Instead, people are constantly stealing everyone's content on the internet.
Oh my god, I'm derailing this video, but I know where you're coming from, King of Misfortune. I agree. I do kind of like new stuff as well. But I mean, I just had fun with Alternative. I like the characters. The characters were cute. They had a nice little story with it. I didn't really care that it was Fooly Cooly that much. I mean, I don't know. To me, it's like, I already have the original show. And this doesn't ruin that. I have that. I mean, these were just spin-offs to me. And I liked Alternative. Alternative was fun. I just liked it for what it is. I do agree it could have been better if it was its own thing. I do agree with you there. But I didn't mind it. I didn't mind Alternative. Progressive, I think, was just bad. Progressive tried really hard to be Fooly Cooly, and it was just awful. Alternative felt more relaxed and like, look, we may not be Fooly Cooly, but we can have good characters. We can have good fluid with it. So I like Alternative. I would recommend Alternative way more than Progressive. I think Alternative is a lot better in comparison. But I know where you're coming from, dude. So don't worry. Don't worry.
Illegally, and maybe we should put some kind of fucking protections in to stop that, right? So, the truth of the matter is, I agree what should happen here, all right? What should really happen is we should have a system.
But Trigger, he bought the games. He should be able to make money off them.
That is completely separate from the long, drawn-out bullshit.
Dio, I kind of disagree.
Right now for
I agree halfway.
And it should have to do.
I agree with season 2, but season 3 is good.
Video use, streaming video use.
That's my opinion.
This is a huge industry right now.
It's not amazing,
but have
but
it catered. Maybe okay, someone stole my content. Okay, and they made a really nasty video that really hurt my reputation, and YouTube won't fucking take it down. Number one, you should be able to sue that person directly, and number two, you should be able to sue YouTube for facilitating that video and not taking it down, even though you notified them that it was slanderous to you. Okay,
yeah, sue fucking YouTube about it. That's gonna work.
And basically, you should go to court for a minimal fee. By the way, it shouldn't be thousands of dollars. You know, a couple $100 maybe.
Couple $100. But he wants, if he wins that court case, he wants to get everything, he wants to get reimbursed for all the loss. So he wants to put as little money as he can to get a lot of money out of it. Do you know how dumb that fucking sounds?
Hash it out. Gee, was this video defamatory? Did it use content without permission? And then royalties.
Royalties
based off of not only how much
he wants to get royalties he wants to pay a couple $100 to do this and get royalties out of it.
Money that person made stealing your content, but also
okay, but what if the guy made zero money off it? I mean, there are streams of me doing this where I made either like $1 or $0 off it. So does that mean that you should get paid $0 then? I agree.
Just to your own reputation. In which case, I'd be a fucking millionaire. Because
a millionaire.
I've been slandered all over the internet for the past 5 to 6 years. I still would probably be one of the top YouTubers for gaming, and I never would have had.
Really? Oh. Okay.
Half the negative shit that happened to me to put me in the situations that I've been in ever happened. If YouTube actually were responsible and not allowed nasty, defamatory, bullying content on their fucking website as a business practice, I'd be in a much better position than I am right now. But the bottom line is, we don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen. I mean, this sounds like
Kill la Kill is good. I agree. Kill la Kill is pretty good.
I hate to say this, when it comes to the United
States, Gurren Lagann is
really
the best,
really
though.
good idea. And
Lord Academia was really good, too.
It's such a watered down, ambiguous version of that original good idea that they had that I don't know if it's going to turn into anything that's anything active.
It has to benefit him for it to be good.
For anyone, anything useful for anyone. And the bottom line is, even for me, even if it cost $100,
Billy Doo starting dark.
I couldn't do it. I don't have the money for it. I mean, maybe 5 years ago that would have been something good to put in place to stop the insane amount of people who stole my stuff to make me look bad, so they could get views and make money on my shit.
How am I making money off you?
At this point, the floodgates have already been opened, been there, done that. How do you fix a reputation that's been slandered for 5 straight years? And how in the holy hell would I afford to be, even then, even if it were cheap, how would I afford it? I couldn't, So for me, like I said, Toddle, I just focus on the future. You know what? YouTube for me is the past.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube is an archive.
YouTube is the past, but let me tell you, I can't play Super Smash Bros. Ultimate because of YouTube. But YouTube is the past. Oh, okay.
For me, and the future is daily, fun, entertaining live streams. I don't really care at this point what these people do on YouTube anymore because YouTube won't listen. I don't know how many times... people have violated YouTube's terms of service, copyright infringement, and YouTube doesn't give a fuck. So there's no point in bothering with any of it. I haven't. I don't submit people for takedowns. I don't do that shit because there's no point to it. It's a waste of my time. I'd rather be here putting out positive streams every day than focusing on, who do I take down today? Who stole my shit? This is no point, okay?
This is no point, dude.
All right. So a few more shout-outs. Straight Cash Homie did a 1,300-bit cheer. That obviously makes Straight Cash Homie the top contributor so far with cheers for today. Let's get him up there on the leaderboard. Thank you. I mean, he was already up there, but let's amend that top cheer spot. Ben Boxer cheered. He says, I don't have much, but I know I love your stream, so let these bits be all I need to know. Okay, thank you. Pro CFO asked something really stupid. I'm not even going to say that. Read about that. And Kate cheered and said, Happy Thanksgiving to Phil and the entire fan base. Hope that you enjoyed the pumpkin pie. Actually... we're not having pumpkin pie. We had it already. We actually had a pumpkin pie last week.
Okay. Well, I'm going to watch part 2 another day. But I think as a special little treat... hold on. We're going to do a little something here. PragerU. Let's see if they uploaded a new video. I think they did. Politics and sports. Keep your hands off my football. Oh boy. Oh boy.
When did sports get so political? When did ESPN become MSNBC? When did Colin Kaepernick become Mahatma Gandhi? I love sports.
How dare Colin Kaepernick take a stand for what he believes in? That's stupid. Oh boy.
Growing up, I played every sport I could. Michael Jordan and Bo Jackson posters adorn the walls of my bedroom. Sports remains my passion and for 2 decades has been my career. I love that sports allows us a break from daily worries, to lose ourselves in the game, where the rules are clear, where talent reigns supreme, and surprise is always possible. And I love sports not only for my own selfish reasons, but for what it does for the nation. Sports brings together people of all backgrounds to root for the home team. No other form of entertainment does this.
Wrong. Movies.
Movie might be great, but you don't see Democrats and Republicans hugging and high-fiving after watching Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, because that makes quality time. When you go to the movies with your friends, at the end of it, what you should do, you should be like, yeah, man, that was a good movie. Yeah, fuck yeah, movies. Because apparently that's the only way you could bond, apparently. Okay.
I'm not done. Sports are a living civics lesson. Think about it. Every team represents...
Oh yeah, sports is very civil. Like wrestling people, tackling, concussions, very civil.
It's community, a city, a college, a high school. It is, after all, the New York Yankees. The player who wears the team uniform represents that community. Now let's take it one step further. A soldier...
Wait. Civic. Oh, whoops, my bad. But that's a big whoops on his part. So the guy represents New York City. So if New York City does something wrong, he's supposed to shut up and deal with it. Obviously.
Also in uniform, represents his country. He is a member, in effect, of the nation's team. The flag and the anthem are symbols of that team. That's why every professional sports event in America...
Oh, he's gonna talk about this shit. Okay. You don't have to agree with it. I'm not gonna say, oh, you have to agree with the fucking kneeling. But when these people are kneeling during the anthem, they're not rebelling. They're not protesting the military or the nation. They're protesting the injustices of our time, or the injustice that's been going on. That's what they're protesting.
Ends with the national anthem. When you stand for the anthem, you are not only cheering for the home team, but for the nation. In short, we begin every sports contest united. Then, of course, it's game on. But the lesson has
You're
been
talking
taught.
about when you're at the stadium, dude.
Unfortunately,
That's a good point, though. No one stands up during the anthem at home. Should we go after them, too?
the unifying power of sports is being trashed. Who's responsible? The worst culprits are, ironically, the very people who cover sports in the first place. The sports media. How did this
Oh, the
happen?
fucking media.
There are, of course, many
That's
factors.
it. Get them out of here.
But a good place to start is with 4 letters, ESPN. 24/7
in the
sports news
game.
and highlights,
Whoops.
every fan's dream. That is, until a few years ago, that's when ESPN realized that it was losing its clout. Their answer? A new approach. Sports mixed with politics. ESPN replaced ratings bonuses with diversity bonuses, gave woke analysts like Jamel Hill, Max Kellerman, and Bomani Jones their own shows, and an anti-American former backup quarterback, Colin
Anti-American.
Kaepernick.
Yeah, Colin Kaepernick is anti-American, apparently. He plays a game in America. He hates it, obviously.
More airtime than he got playing time. And because ESPN leads the field,
Well, when he fucking kneeled and people started talking about it, maybe he wanted to respond. So he shouldn't respond to people saying things about him? Okay.
much of the sports media followed suit. The result? When you go to the sports section of USA Today or Yahoo or even Sports Illustrated, you're as likely to read about players' thoughts on the president as you are about their thoughts on the game.
Now, what if their thoughts on the president is positive? I wonder if PragerU would complain about that. Because also, so if these sports people are giving their thoughts on the president, isn't that free speech? Shouldn't they be allowed to say this? So if we're gonna say, well, they shouldn't talk about the president, isn't that infringing on their First Amendment? Okay.
Here's how insane this has gotten. In August 2017, ESPN pulled 40-year-old Asian American play-by-play announcer Robert Lee from calling a University of Virginia college football game in Charlottesville, Virginia. Why? Because in the wake of the violent Charlottesville protests surrounding the removal of the statue of Confederate General Robert E. Lee, ESPN didn't want to trigger its viewers. So an Asian American named Robert Lee couldn't comment on a game because of an incident involving a statue of Robert E. Lee.
That's pretty weird.
No, I'm not kidding. You'd think that sports reporters, the
I
guys
feel like
who
that
eat
there's more to that story than just that. I don't know. I really don't trust PragerU with this.
drink and sleep sports wouldn't put up with this nonsense. That they know politics has no place on the field.
But I
But
think I might have heard
You'd
that
be
vaguely,
wrong.
but
they're just as political as their news desk colleagues.
yeah,
Why?
that's mostly ESPN's fault. It has nothing to do with the fucking politics and sports. It's just a network issue.
Why? Because they're afraid of being called racist or sexist, because they want to be friends with the athletes, because they want to think of themselves as serious journalists.
Yeah, they should see athletes as animals? This is getting a little weird for me.
And because they come from the same journalism schools as the political reporters. And because, yes, they're overwhelmingly on the left.
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure you probably complain about that. I mean, I get the thing, but I think those statues should be in a museum instead. That's just me.
Sorry, that's just a fact.
Just
Over
fact.
80% of sports journalists, according to a survey from the Big Lead, voted for Hillary Clinton in the 2016 election.
Oh my god, they voted for a president they believed in? Oh, so stupid. But this is also coming from a channel that cries about people shunning or shaming people for voting for Trump. But here they are shaming people for voting for Hillary, which is good hypocrisy. I mean, doesn't make you look dumb at all.
Less than 4% voted for the other candidate, you know, the guy who actually won. And do we know who those 4% are? Of course not. They want to keep their jobs. So how's this new business strategy working out?
Because we all know Denzel Washington is strapped for cash, right? He's not getting jobs, right? Oh, wait.
Out for ESPN? Since 2011, the network's been losing about 2 million subscribers per year. It hasn't turned out any better for the NFL. The league has lost nearly 20% of its viewership since 2016. But you don't see me celebrating. We need sports.
I don't know. It sounds like you were
We
celebrating.
need that break from our everyday cares. We need its unique ability to unite our communities, our nation.
But this has nothing to do with sports. If ESPN goes away, there's other ways to get your sports. It's not like ESPN was the only way to watch sports. There's Fox covers it, ABC covers, well, maybe ABC, I don't even know. NBC covers football. I mean, it's not just ESPN. There's other fucking networks. Okay.
We need the civics lesson. What else brings Americans together? It certainly isn't politics. I'm Clay Travis, host of Outkick the Show for Prager University. Thank you for watching this video. To help keep PragerU videos free, please consider making a tax-deductible donation.
A tax deductible. He has to be sure to tell us that because, otherwise we would never know. Let's see. We'll go full circle. We'll do something for everyone, so everyone's happy. We'll watch a Lily Orchard video because let's all
Steven Universe fans.
let's all get mad at Lily Orchard's dumb opinions because I watched this fucking video.
I have a long-standing
I watched this video, and let me tell you, this video gets to me. It gets to me, man. So let's see this person's opinion.
history of refusing to cover certain shows if people incessantly bother me about it. Nothing kills my interest in a show more than the feeling that I'm watching it out of obligation to placate people who nag me. So I have this rule in place that if you bother me about a show, I will not cover it out of principle. This isn't just because nobody likes a nag, though that really should be enough, but in my experience, when fans have to beg me to cover a show, that tends to be a red flag that the show isn't very good. Why is it that the show can't stand up on its own? What's wrong with it that means people have to push it in other people's faces rather than just letting the trailers stand on their own merits?
I do know Pan Pizza. I know there's some weird fucking lore with him. But, I mean, I kind of at least enjoy some of his vids, but, I'm...
So far, this presumption has had a 100% success rate because upon looking at a show that people nag me to watch, it generally fails to impress. So to hammer that point home, I'm going to start what I hope to be a recurring series of first impressions, where I take the first, or first two in the case of a two-parter, episode of a series and examine its merits, and we're going to start with She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. Why just the first episode?
Because Lily is a girl, dude. Come on.
When there's an entire season available? Well, for a few reasons. One, the first episode is the only chance the series has to really grab someone, so that first impression is key. Two, if it were airing on a real network, it would be the only episode available. Three, because fuck the very concept of binge watching. And four, because I said so. That good enough? No? Well, tough. This is She-Ra.
Well, the thing is that I do kind of agree with Pan Pizza's opinion on She-Ra, because the thing is, I think that there are people who just hate it for... I mean, I watched She-Ra. I watched this one. Didn't watch the original, but I think that this show does not deserve the overly positive reviews it got, and I don't think it deserved the over negative response either. It's the most bland show you could find. So I don't really quite get why people are like, She-Ra, oh my god, it's awful, it's fucking ruining everything. It's just fucking... There are people who have good reasons to not like the show, which is fine. I'm not saying that if you hate the show, you're wrong, but, I mean, I think a lot of people are... I think there are people who are overly negative with this show. And I do remember Teen Titans getting a lot of overly negative when it first came on. I remember a lot of people were not fans of the anime chibi kind of things it did. I do remember that, so, I mean, he's not wrong about that. I do remember the negativity around Teen Titans. But I don't know, the images I saw from OG She-Ra, I didn't really like. I never liked He-Man either, so, I can't really say anything about that. But, this being the first introduction I have to She-Ra, it's like, it's a show. It's there. It's very bland.
The main cast of She-Ra and the Princesses of Power consists of Adora, a horde.
By the way, I should tell you this right now. I hope you enjoy that. Where she says the horde, and then she injects this World of Warcraft thing. I hope you like it, because let me tell you, you'll see this for as...
Soldier caught in the middle of a war that goes unexplained. Catra, Adora's girlfriend, but the 21st century cartoon subtext kind because the writers need to be needlessly coy about everything. Bo, a guy literally named after his weapon, and...
Hey, guess what? The names in both the original show and this show suck. I really did go out of my way to make sure that's the case, because when I watched this, they had dumb fucking names. Glimmer, the Horde, Bright Light, whatever. And I was like, these names are really fucking dumb. So I was like, well, I wonder if the original had these dumb names. And they did, so... These are dumb names.
Glimmer, a princess whose special powers include teleporting, making stupid and stubborn decisions that get people killed, and yelling a lot. For the record, Glimmer gets a little better in the series, but she is arguably the worst first impression in the world. What I find interesting...
Well, in terms of the story, it made sense for her to be like that, but
is that the titular She-Ra is on the opposite side of a war against the side that has all the titular princesses. That's actually pretty interesting. Maybe we'll have a bit of a faction war between the Horde and the princesses as the...
So funny. I hope she does it for the whole video. I mean, I'm just calculating the comedic amount of times of hearing it.
The dueling ideologies compete for dominance. I don't like the sound of that cough you just made, DreamWorks. Well, we thought it'd be cool if She-Ra's originally on the side of the villain and has to learn about the horrors of the Horde firsthand and switch sides. So
Gets
you have
funnier every
She-Ra starting out as a
time,
straight up
man.
villain? Well, that sounds like something that could be cool for a season or two. DreamWorks, did you do all of this in the first episode? Maybe?
By the way, you'll like this joke that's obviously from Zero Punctuation and the Nostalgia Critic.
Alright, fine. I find it weird that they start out with She-Ra on the villain side and spend a lot of time highlighting how invested she is in the whole...
Oh, it's like, also from what I've been told, that's how the OG show was like too, where she starts on the villain side. Gets me every time, man.
Pause, only to flip the switch in the very same episode. These kind of stories usually have a period of the pseudo-antagonist rationalizing and making excuses not to confront the lie that is her own beliefs, but here they just kind of skip past all that to the point that I wonder why they even did this. Unfortunately, the episode doesn't do this story any favors. Adora is captured by two of her enemies and spends a lot of time waffling around and visiting a city and experiencing the joy of fruit and petting the horsies and having a pink diamond. This land is so beautiful! Epiphany. The moment that causes Adora to finally turn is seeing the Horde
Okay.
Attack a
Okay. I'm gonna tell you this right now. That might be so funny. I hate the game now. Yeah, I want Blizzard to kill World of Warcraft. Kill World of Warcraft. If they announce that, oh, we're killing it, that's gonna make me so fucking happy. I fucking can't stand it. I can't stand that character anymore. I mean, that character is Lily's favorite character apparently. Fucking kill it. I hate it. She goes to that fucking character so fucking much.
civilian town, but she was led to believe it was a fortified military base and assumes that this must be a mistake. Then she almost immediately turns traitor after talking to Catra. There's actually a point in that scene where Catra basically sums up why this story isn't working.
Are you kidding? You've known these people for what, a couple of hours?
Well,
and now you're gonna throw everything away for them? Oh.
now my opinion on this, I kind of agree that it's rushed. I agree with that. Sorry, I'm like counting down the clock, dude. But I do agree that it's rushed, but at the same time, we've seen this plot so many fucking times. I just think if you're gonna do a rehashed arc like this, either don't do it at all, or rush it. Fucking rush it.
What?
For the Horde.
No. God damn it. God. It's a dirty dollar. Thank you, Lily. Glad you like the content.
What happened to you?
They want to make Adora into another Zuko. They're leaning really, really hard on that. That's the only reason that Adora starts out in the Horde. So that she can have a what have I done
Don't
moment
rush
and
it.
turn
It's
traitor.
not
The problem,
gonna get
however,
you
is that
any
Zuko
further.
took 2.5 seasons
Well, the thing is that for starters, she was for a younger audience, and I don't think they might not necessarily care that much about that. I just feel like that story of oh, a villain turned good has been done like to death, and if they're not going to do anything new with it, then there's no point of doing it. And if they rush it, then that's great because that means we get to move on to other things. Now, my issue with She-Ra, on the other, as a whole, is that it's just so bland. It's like drinking a glass of water. It's not bad. It's not awful. It's not great. It's not a terrible show. But it's not a great show either. It's just a show that's there. It kind of does its thing that it does. And that's it. I don't really think it is that big of a deal. Like, I understand. I'm more understanding of the Thundercats roar outrage than this. But, it is what it is.
of trying to live up to his father's expectations, failing, exile, a brief re-entry into his home, and then after everything he's seen and done, deciding he can't abide this and turning traitor. It's a very long character arc,
Now-
so long that it's halfway
Now,
through-
the main reason would maybe do this video, you'll get it within, like, a few seconds, but I'll tell you.
the final season before Zuko is technically a good guy.
This video is 12 minutes of saying, it's a wannabe Avatar, it wants to be Avatar, it wants to be Avatar, it's like Avatar, it's like Avatar, and it's like, okay, yeah, dude, it's like Avatar. It wants to be Avatar. And it's like that. Oh.
The first episode and they're already rushing to the conclusion. I guess the creators didn't want to start out the series with She-Ra technically being the bad guy, even though that honestly would have been really cool. So they just hastily copied another character without thinking about why that character actually worked. I don't want it to seem like I'm picking.
Well, if you don't like the crew members, that's fine. I don't even know who these people are, but it is what it is. I mean, I think if they have no nuance to their issue, that's a little different. But the thing is that I am more interested in the shows they make. So if let's say, because like season 1 is just so bland, it's just whatever. But if they don't improve as the show goes on, because to me, the way I look at shows and animated shows is that the first season, find out what you are, just do whatever, get stuff figured out, as long as you have something, a backbone. And She-Ra, for the most part, has a backbone to it. Get ground. And then, when you get a second season, maybe push the art style a little bit more. I like the art style, I think it's a good starting point for it, but I think they should really start to push it. When it comes to season 2 and season 3, I think that's what they should really be looking into. Now, if they don't improve at all as the show goes on, I don't really think then I'm probably gonna not even give it care anymore. I have such a low amount of care about this show. I can't really see myself, even bothering with the second season. But if the second season is a huge improvement, that might change. Like Voltron, those seasons were hit or miss overall, but you could tell that they improved the animation. They pushed some stuff in certain areas, and I think She-Ra has that potential. So far, from what I've seen, it has potential. But if they don't push it after season 1, then I think it's not for anyone other than kids.
On She-Ra, because honestly, this is an industry-wide problem. Almost every cartoon these days wants to be the next Avatar. It happens constantly with shows cloning elements from Avatar in the hopes of getting the same recognition.
Now, she does have a point. There was a time on TV that everyone tried to be like Avatar. There was that time. People choose to forget it, but I remember it. I remember a lot of shows trying to be that. But I kind of don't agree with that. A lot of people I've talked to with this compare it to Steven Universe, and I do see the comparisons with that. I think the body types. I think the body variations.
What?
Whoa.
What?
Whoa. What?
FOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOOO
Texas Mutual's an axe was a mistake. But, the one thing I agree with Pan Pizza when he talked about the body types is that it matches the kind of class they are. Like, Glimmer is a magic user, so it makes sense for her to have a rounder kind of body type, which is fine. That's why I'm okay with body variation. I don't think that's wrong with She-Ra, but I think the similarities is come with the very fine shapes, and I think every animation is doing this now. Like even Simpsons, there's a video out there that compared the new intro to the old intro, and it's very stiff and static. Before it's very fluid and crazy, and now it's just more like, okay, we gotta get perfect lines. And I think that's fine, but I think if you're gonna do that, then you should push the show more. That's why I'm giving season 1 a little bit of a pass, but season 2 kind of has to do more than just what this is doing.
The 2011 Thundercats had this same problem. But as I've said many times in the past, these people do not know why Avatar worked, so they just clone raw elements from it, like main character starts as a villain and realizes the people he serves are evil and makes a turnaround.
But She-Ra technically did not do this because of Avatar. The original She-Ra did the same, and that was an 80s cartoon that was made to sell toys. So they follow that same lore of her starting on the bad guys. It wasn't like, oh, Avatar did it, let's do it.
Around, but they don't copy the things that made that story so memorable. I'm harping on this one in particular because it didn't need to happen. Adora turns traitor by the end of the first episode, so we're ultimately left with the question of why they even bothered to do this in the first place.
I'm probably the only one who likes that show. I'm probably the only one, TBH.
Why not just start with Adora on the Rebels' side? Because Avatar did it, and we want to be Avatar. Also, we want to be Sailor Moon, so here's a magical transformation scene that's vaguely reminiscent of Sailor Moon. The question I'm left with is,
The transformation, whatever.
why? I already know the answer, but I still wonder what was going through the minds of the creators when they wrote this out. Actually, that why sticks around when we're introduced to Glimmer. She's a commander by nepotism since her mother won't let her lead any actual battles because she's reckless, has a total disregard for safety, and can't hold a conversation with her own superiors without whining and yelling at them. This is somebody who should not have been given a leadership position. Down with the monarchy!
The reason why she's been, like, bratty about her position is because she wanted to prove herself to her mom. It's like the most basic character motivation you could have a character have. Like, if you're gonna give a character a motivation, that's like hanging fruit of motivation. But you like how she kind of slid in her little politics in there? Like, see, monarchies are bad, man. Down with royalty,
Problem with the episode is that despite the prologue and the conclusion being rushed beyond belief, the second act drags incessantly. Bo and Glimmer capture Adora when she sneaks out to find a sword, and this is where things really start to test my patience. The next half hour is spent watching Glimmer.
Wait, so she claims that they rushed the development of this, but then said that they dragged. Oh, okay.
Play keep away with the sword and screaming about what the Horde
God damn it!
has done to her people and how they've hurt so many. Unfortunately, during this entire time, we're never told what the Horde has done as Glimmer and Adora bicker back and forth about who's actually wrong. The nadir of the whole episode is halfway through when they have this tediously long fight scene with a bug where Glimmer screams a lot and Adora doesn't do anything until the last minute where she
her hands are tied. TBH.
Transforms into She-Ra and the first part ends, and then in the second part she immediately loses this new power and falls over. Really, really anticlimactic there. They get locked in a tomb. Adora learns that she's basically the special, and Glimmer almost gets them all killed out of stubbornness, and then they go to a village, and that aforementioned third act confrontation happens.
Because she didn't know if she could trust Adora. I mean, it's kind of obvious why Glimmer didn't trust her, because she was a soldier of the bad guys. I mean, it kind of would make sense for her not to trust her with the sword? I don't know. Maybe.
And then the episode ends with the three of them walking off to... Actually, I don't know where they're going. Unfortunately, the first episode doesn't establish a whole...
Yeah, who would have thought the main character that's named after the show was special? News to me.
We learn that the Horde...
God damn.
Is bad because of reasons. Adora might have been stolen as a baby, and Catra might be gay.
Maybe?
Unfortunately, the first episode doesn't establish a whole lot. We learn that the Horde...
God damn it, kill me.
Is bad because of reasons. Adora might have been stolen as a baby, and
maybe, yeah, maybe. Obviously. Clearly, it's a mystery.
Catra might be gay for her. Why this war is even being fought, what it actually means, and why most...
Oh no, the Catra
this is important is just casually left out. I'm glad I brought up that Avatar comparison because the whole episode feels like the first episode of Avatar, but without the prologue that briefly and succinctly explained what the war with the Fire Nation even is, and even explaining that it's been 100 years, so we don't...
They literally do explain the war. Like, they say it's to bring order. The amount of time that the war takes place, that's debatable.
Remember why the war started in the first place, and who the Avatar is supposed to be, and that he was supposed to be an airbender.
Maybe we're gonna get the why later, because again, we're going through the perspective of Adora. She was born into this war. She doesn't know why the war started or what caused it. Okay.
So that when they find the airbender frozen in the ice, we immediately make the connection of who Aang is and why he's a big deal. Without that, the first episode would result in a string of, "The fuck is this? The fuck is that? The fuck is you?" And that's what She-Ra's...
But we kind of... So Lily's criticism is that we don't know all the answers from episode 1. But the whole point is to find out. Like, that's the whole purpose of the show, is to find out who She-Ra is. What is She-Ra? Like, it's the same thing with Voltron. Oh, this this lion shit goes on. What is it? What is the Galra? What is this? What is that? And as you watch the show, they kind of explain it. So of course, we don't know the answers to everything in episode 1 of She-Ra, but we get these answers as the story goes on. It's kind of what makes you want to go back and watch it. Lily sounds like those network executives that run focus tests and they ask kids these leading questions. Like it happened with Green Lantern. There was a focus group, and the kids are like, oh, I don't know what this is. And it's like, well, the show's going to explain this. And it's like, well, see, the kid didn't understand this. It's like, well, yeah. The kid's just curious, and he's going to find out when the show continues. I mean, that's the whole point, is that it piques a curiosity in them, and they stick through it to see it pay out. And Lily's just not accepting that. Now, of course, you could argue about the pacing and the development and the structure. That's fine. I mean, you could argue that they rushed to the conclusion that She-Ra is now a good guy. That's fine. But some of these questions are kind of blatantly meant to be little hooks to get you to watch the rest of the show. Like, these questions you just asked obviously are to kind of lead you in to watch more, because it's through the perspective of Adora. That's why we don't know who She-Ra is, what She-Ra is. That's why we know as much about She-Ra as Adora does. That's the fucking point.
This first episode really does feel like, and I know why it's doing this. The show is serialized because that's just the mandate these days. All shows are being serialized, even if they're not really fit for it. So these things...
But She-Ra has kind of been serialized even from the get-go?
That you would normally establish in the first act are being spread out through the entire season.
I feel...
Yeah, but think about how much ridiculous it would be to have one episode literally just exposition dump. Okay, She-Ra, okay, Adora, you're really She-Ra, this happened, okay, and then the sword gives you these special powers to do this, and then the whole thing was built, and you have to do, it's just so fucking dumb to do that. Just fucking let it do its thing.
Sort of stretched, like butter scraped over too much bread.
This is emblematic of shows that try a serialized format on principle without considering
well, Coast, I mean, the whole, arc is kind of predictable. I kind of have a hunch of what it is. Like, oh, she's either a reincarnation or a kid of She-Ra or something.
Or not it's really appropriate. Serialization works for stories that are very densely packed. The second season of Legend of Korra is really the only time serialization
maybe it's not densely packed because maybe She-Ra's for a younger audience.
ever worked for an animated show, because the story, at least in the first half, had so many layers to it that it could really take advantage of the continuous arc. Most TV shows that try to be serialized have very simple plots and generally just work better as self-contained stories. Even Avatar itself was...
But sometimes simple plots are good for overarching plots, though. Sometimes needlessly convoluting a story just to do overarching plots is kind of dumb. Sometimes when you have an overarching plot, it might be best to keep it simple.
Episodic, with the 100-Year War being effectively a framing device. She-Ra really wants to be serialized because that's what people think makes a show better. But that absolutist belief has never been true, and it really shows in series that do it badly. So we've got 13 episodes, but only 3 episodes worth of content to spread across them. This is why the second act drags so much.
How do you know it's 3 episodes worth of content?
All about padding time until the next episode because they just didn't write enough story. So does that mean it's bad? No, it's alright. It's a solid B-? Yeah,
okay.
B-.
Okay. That's a legitimate theme for me. A person who fucking gave the show a chance. I would probably give it either a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Because it doesn't really do anything bad. It's not like I'm sitting there and I feel like I'm wasting time. But it's not a show that I care that much about. It's just there. The character designs are hit or miss. I kind of don't like the weird skirt that She-Ra has. I feel like either give her a real skirt or not at all. kind of feel like the not at all option was the better option. Like, maybe you have it be like a long thing, than just a whole skirt that goes above the shorts. I don't know.
Works. Adora and Catra are genuinely enjoyable characters, and their dynamic is kind of adorable. I think it's generally a good sign that your lead character left a good first impression. If my biggest criticism of the show is that her story would be a lot more interesting if it wasn't bull rushed the way it is. I like Adora and I like Catra, and I could just kind of wish that she'd been given the chance to have an actual Zuko arc. I think it would really work for her. Glimmer's basically nails on a chalkboard for the first episode, but in subsequent episodes she upgrades to just being kind of there, so she's a marked improvement over other characters named Glimmer, but that's kind of a shame because I actually love Glimmer's design. I think she's one of the best designed characters.
Really? Her design? Dude, she's like the worst design of the show. Like, even She-Ra has her beat. And people fucking hated that design.
In the show, and
like, I just don't like the costume. Like, it's just, okay, purple, light purple this way, and then fairy wings and thing. It's just so fucking shitty.
It's a shame.
The only thing that I'll give the design is I like the body type. It's at least something.
That she's just such a so-so character overall. She-Ra and the Princesses of Power is inoffensive.
I mean, Catra, I think, has the best design, if you ask me. Catra's the best. Catra good. And Shadow Weaver, both of them, good. Good designs. I give them A+.
Shovel redemption arcs onto people who don't deserve them, shows that keep slipping into fascist apologia, and shows that siphon out all the fun in favor of appealing to the hipster parent demographic. She-Ra's worthy of a fucking
and I like this design of Adora. I do like the jacket. I like the hair and shit like that. Like, I think her normal design is the best design. Honestly, I would much rather have She-Ra look like that than what she looks like. I mean, it's kind of like Voltron. The more I think about it, Voltron looks amazing when it's just animated, but once the lions come in, it's like I don't care. Fuck the lions. I like everything else but the lions.
Prize by comparison. It's an okay, if clumsily written show that will at least be fun and engaging for kids without teaching them horrible lessons, and those are really my only requirements for a children's show. But
oh yeah, you have good lessons, but if the show is bad, it's fine.
Do I want to keep watching it? No, I'm not interested in a story about the new Sailor Scouts. The only selling point for me is the possibility of gay princesses, but the show is really coy about it.
Now I might piss off some people, dude. But I like the whole Kurosami thing. I thought that was well developed. I mean, you could disagree all you want with me, that's fine. But I don't really mind. I mean, okay, I see why people would want the whole Catra and Adora thing to ship. At the same time, though, if Catra is gonna remain a bad guy, how is that relationship gonna fucking work? Yeah. But I think this keeping it kind of hinted at is fine as well, but I mean, it could be variety. Like, maybe throw a character that's blatantly a gay couple as well.
Which just tries my
but
patience.
Who fucking cares? It's a fucking human and a cat. Oh, if they're gonna give Catra a redemption arc, I'm suspicious. I have a feeling there's gonna be an episode where Catra's gonna pretend to flip. Adora, you're right. I'm gonna flip-flop on the bad guys. Oh, good job, Catra. Welcome aboard. And then Catra betrays them to go back to Shadow Weaver. Crazy. I have a feeling that's gonna be an episode.
Saying that's an appropriate read of the show. See, with shows like Steven Universe and Star vs. the Forces of Evil, the creators are trying really hard to court the hipster parent demographic. They're desperate for an older audience. She-Ra, on the other hand, is not concerned about that. It's all about the kids, and rushed introductory plot lines are irrelevant to them. I mean, I have to notice all these clumsy writing issues and where they surface from because it's my job and I'd be a shitty critic if I just
would still complain about a kid show rushing plot along, because what if it's something important? My main issue with this show is that they introduce a third fucking option. Now, this is something Lily doesn't even bring up. So, in episode 2, I think, there is a scene where Adora's with this old lady, or whatever. She's chilling with this old lady, and the old lady tells Adora, Oh, the princesses, by the way, dumb fucking name. A group of people called the princesses. Get the fuck out of here. But, anyways, so, they have, so this old lady tells her, oh, well, the princesses, they stop the bad guys, but they don't do enough for everyone. They're flawed themselves. They care about themselves. And I was like, oh, wow. Now we're gonna have a character that is neither for the princesses or for the bad guys. It's gonna be like, a neutral ground that's like, oh, I want to fight against this, but, the princesses should be more open, or whatever. I thought that was gonna be interesting. That's a great third option to have. But then the show kind of wedges her into the princesses, and it's like, no, she's with them now, buddy. It's like, you fucking have, a third option, and you don't go with it.
It off is not worth talking about, but most kids,
how's the goat?
they just won't give a shit. We all loved Avatar, but very few people seem to be able to figure out why Avatar worked as well as it did. And when
it told a good story. It was a very simple story. A group of bad guys want to take over the world. Aang is the chosen one, and he has to team up with people and fight and shit. Like, it's very, very kind of simple. But whatever.
we were kids, we all loved shows that were basically worthless as both entertainment and art, and we weren't worse off for it. I find the Sailor Moon comparison works better than Avatar because that's what the show really amounts to. A kinda drab action series, but you're not worse off for watching it. A lot of people tend to make a big fuss about how we need shows that challenge kids and make them think, but we really only ever need—
Because how dare we want shows to make kids think. That's a crime. That's stupid. Kids should just watch shows that are just noise. Come on.
one or two shows like that, and to be honest, we're really bad at actually making them. If She-Ra wants—
Okay. Well, that's it for this fucking video. And that's it for the stream. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys next time. I might be doing a stream Thursday or Friday. I'll be doing a stream Friday. So, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.